broadcast is not a thing. Cool. I'm learning so much. I've never had to do it like this before. All right, so let me go to my stream. Okay, I'm officially live. Let me. Oh, your camera's on. Let me know when you switch.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Uh,
go.
I can't find you on the thing to redirect.
I'm there. I swear. Wait, hold on. It's still cycling. It's not showing the stream. Let me make sure I'm on the right one. It says streaming. Excellent connection.
Go
Oh yeah,
to
I'm definitely working. It's I can see myself.
go to edit settings and then go to customization and scroll to the bottom and see what it says under redirect.
It says redirects allow you to keep viewers engaged across multiple things. I can only see other ones of mine. Like just to choose a specific, so you're gonna have to drop it and just say come to my channel
Yeah.
because they don't have the same thing as what are we talking about? Like Twitch. What's up, table? Oh my god, the chaos! I have both. Well, close the bad one and stick with the good one. Oh, he just left my channel. Oh, that's awkward. That was a joke. All right. So let me make sure I've got everything set up. I'm gonna close my Harry Potter reluctantly. Yeah. All right. Turn your camera on. Priority. Oh, get your loot. That drives me crazy. You haven't picked up all your loot on your bags. Open all. Uh.
I
Uh.
will. I will.
It's bedtime. It's 6 p.m. This is prime time hours. I think I'm gonna record this for fun. Okay. I think they can hear you go, but they can't see you, and that's on you.
I was trying to end the stream, man.
Click the end stream button. It's like a
I
giant
had
button.
to say like click the video, do this, blah blah
Uh.
blah.
Yeah. Check
Thanks for
out.
watching, and
Check
as
it out.
always,
It's 23:56 in the EU. Yeah, my friend was saying that she's about to go to bed, and that makes sense. Sorry, Sebastian. You can watch it tomorrow. We are going to talk about, yeah, ghost streams all the time, like all the time. I'm kicking them off one stream to come on to this stream, uh, to come on our stream for our podcast. Call Logan our tech support. That guy does everything. This is fair. Wait, did I change it? No, I didn't. Hold on. No, this is starting soon. The podcast does not start for another 3 minutes.
you
So
should see me
you,
though, right?
I didn't turn it on yet. No, I still just see. I can. You're still streaming.
No, it should have
Hundred
ended. OBS is
percent.
down. OBS is gone.
100. Oh no, I'm seeing idle swapping theory. It jumped automatically to a new video. Okay. No, it. I still can't see you on stream or on Discord. You're gonna have to
You can't see me
turn.
in I see myself in
Hold
disc.
on. Let me. Oh, okay. There we go. Let me turn you on. Bam.
You do that every day.
I can now see both of us in our thing. Okay, so this is our name of our. Oh yeah, you did see it because it's in the thing. Your Twitch is not working. I didn't turn the Twitch on. I know because we had some technical issues. I was trying to make it easier to. It just. No, I didn't stream to Twitch. Sorry guys. Not today. Next time I will. I tried to not use Restream, which allows me to stream to multiple places. So, what's up, Randy? I think. Thank you. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna start this off. You ready? Wait, we have 2 minutes. Do you want to talk about something while we have 2 minutes? That picture? Come on, you gotta admit, she's pretty cute,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, dude. I feel you, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, unrelated. Unrelated.
And I mean, we're just gonna brush over the one that your shirt was off in.
Yeah, dude. Like pre-COVID, I was topless 80% of my life. I was at the beach. If I had to work, I would take my laptop to like a park, throw up my hammock, and just chill out and get a tan. Like that was my life.
Oh,
Catastrophic. It'll be feral. What you guys are making all these fun.
hey, so I'm gonna do the proper thing when you're sharing a podcast and link the stream in my Discord real quick. Hold, just give me
I
1 second.
You
Just give
should
me
have
one
told
second.
me. I blame that on you. 100%. I blame that on you. Okay, guys, I'm gonna start this thing off anyway. Hello, welcome to our podcast. This episode is called Feral in Balance. This is Grif and Go podcast number 3. I'm Grif. That's Go right there. Right? Wait, hold on. Right there. And we are two druids that like to talk about druid stuff, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Yeah, we just kind of chill out, have fun, and pretty much screw around for about 2 to apparently 4 hours sometimes. So, yeah. Today we are going to be talking a lot about Phase 2 stuff, PTR stuff, because Go and I, if you don't know, we're actually different factions, so we rarely get to play with each other. So the PTR is kind of where we actually get to hang out in the game, which is his fault because he does have a tune on my server that he refuses to play. I will marry your mom. I promise, Nest. Send her my number. Indonesia, right? I'll go there. Sounds like a good place. Wait, was Nest Indonesia? I wasn't paying attention. I was just here.
Europe.
Oh, I was hearing you talk, and I was like, Indonesia. And I was like, oh man, it must be Nest in Indonesia. Wait, where you're European? They got
Well,
wild
he's not
thunderstorms.
European. He's in Europe.
Oh, okay. Tauren used to be master race when racial was. Dude, is it not still 5% max HP? What did they change it to?
That doesn't increase my DPS, so I don't know.
Bro, as a tank, that's huge. Because War Stomp. Well, no. What made Druid's master race was they were able to War Stomp in bear form, which was just absolutely nuts. But yeah. And I'm not European. From Portugal. Oh my god, I love Portugal. I was supposed to go to Portugal like 2 years ago, and I had to cancel last minute. So that sucked. But I've been to Spain a couple times, and I know they're not the same thing. But my friend that I hang out with a lot, she's from Spain. Don't forget /move. Oh, hold on.
Not the soundboard.
I'm Grifton. And this is my buddy Go.
I tried to time it. I don't know how it went, but I gave it my best shot.
You can't hear. Can you hear the chipmunk stuff and stuff like that?
No.
Okay, so here's the cool thing about the soundboard, guys. Go can't hear them when I play them, so I can mess around with him while he's talking. So I only have a couple. This is one of my favorites, which you don't know what it is. We're just gonna live with it. I'm leaving the UK though, the real America. Me and my warrior brother used to do that. Used to do what? Wait! Don't forget. I can't keep up. Okay. All right. So I do have a list. I know I sent you the list.
Yeah.
Okay, I have it. Intro, great. All right, so we're gonna get into the I want to call the boring stuff right off the bat. Did you get any upgrades this week?
I did all the 25s last night and got 0 loot from all 3 raids, so felt kind of bad. First week that I've got no loot, but previous weeks the only piece of loot I got was from 10 mans, so I could still hop into 10 man, and the only piece I would go for is the mace from KT. But yeah, not good on loot for the main tune. I have an alt druid. I got Dying Curse on Monday night on the alt, so that might be my new main now.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, I was actually watching the stream when that happened. Okay, I kind of am in the same boat, but like, it's my own fault. Okay, and I'm curious what you would do in this scenario. So
Can you turn me up real quick?
Oh yeah, are you quiet? Hold on. Try now. Go. Speak
Like I'm a dog. I ain't the feral here, okay? I'm not the feral.
Okay, so we ran our 25s last night, just like you, and I got no loot. I shouldn't say no loot. I got an upgraded tanking neck. I don't even want to tank. Now I don't mind tanking, but I don't want to prio gear for tanking. Because when I do, they're like, oh, well, you got pieces tonight. And I'm like, no, it's not my spec I'm running. Anyway, but I did get a new ring and a new neck for tanking, which is awesome because my tank set, I'm now at like 52,500 K. But I need the helm. The tier 7 helm, I need it to swap to a different chest. It dropped again. I was under the impression I was prioed, and I think it was our raid leader. Yeah, our raid leader whispered me and said, listen, the Boomkin hasn't had any gear in a while. do you mind? And I was like, yes, I do mind. But I did say, you know what? I'm pretty well geared. Give it to the Boomy. But honestly, like in the back of my head was like, why? Why am I? No, 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 no. But I did
It's
say it.
massive for the Boomy, dude. Massive. We
Is
had
it
double
though?
bank tokens drop this week, so that feels kind of bad. Double, I think it was double helm. Maybe it was shoulder. Maybe it was both. We had a lot of bank tokens drop.
I don't want to look at their logs to see if they earned it or not, but I kind of want to look at their logs to see if they earned it or not. I'm not. I'm not ashamed. I'm just curious. Like, I mean, I know logs aren't everything. I'm not looking off to the side at the logs. I promise. Not what I'm doing. Oh, you won't know which one it is. Okay, good. Okay, they're legit. They're a decent Boomy. Okay, it's fine. But that was the only thing that like I wanted that dropped, and I didn't get it. So that sucked. But yeah, and I still haven't gotten the 25-man EOE quest thing, the neck.
Yeah, I'm up for it next week. I think.
You have a
It's
list. It's a
Yeah,
blind
yeah.
thing for us. Like we're just like, come on.
No, I would hate that. No, I know it's me and one other person. We roll off. Whoever gets higher gets it.
How was rating, by the way? How'd you guys do?
It was weird because we lost a couple more people.
Thanks,
I think we
David.
lost 2, and we lost one person 4 fights in. They had to go pick somebody up from the airport, and I think they were like a trial. So
Oh,
we
really?
24 man, we 24 manned the rest of the raid, and it was pretty good because it was an immortal run. We started with Resuvius, and then Resuvius got a little scuffed. We went out, reset, went back
Yeah.
in, had a better Resuvius, and we went all the way to KT. And there was a couple mechanic issues on KT, and our immortal run ended.
Bro, we did almost the same thing. So we did the rocket boots into patchwork, and we got all the way to patchwork, and we tried to 2-tank it, and the healers couldn't get the timing down, and I kept getting chunked, and DPS kept dying. So we just wiped it, reset the instance, and we're like, you know what? Let's just go for immortal. All right. So we're like, fine. We take our time. Every boss, smooth, clean, perfect. We get to Saffron. Do I have video of this? Hold on, I might have video of this. We get to Saffron, and hold on, it needs to be okay. So Saffron's here, flies up. We all run out. Ice block, ice block. Everyone turns, escape. Everyone knows to hit the escape button so you don't actually get melee. Saffron comes down, and when he comes down, he's facing the whole raid, and I stay way out. A couple people run in. He turns to the tank, who's off to the side, and cleaves everyone that was over in the melee section anyway. I got cleaved. Luckily, I got missed or dodged, but 2 of our melee died instantly, and everyone was like, well, because when you get that far, what else can you do? And so like our shaman, who was the one, because right before that, I made a joke. I said, okay, guys, we have 2 bosses left. Anybody that dies, 500 gold. It's on you. And like joking, obviously, because we don't want to do that. But like, so the 2 guys that died, one was a shaman, and the shaman went into full. I think my buddy Dubes described it as full Charlie from who's or not who's line from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia mode with the conspiracy theory. Okay, so what happened was when he came down and he was panic posting all the reasons why it wasn't his fault that he died. And everyone's like, nobody cared. Like, it was over. It doesn't matter. Like, you can't like, oh, you're right. Never mind. So we still get the title? No, it doesn't matter. So, but you could tell he felt super guilty because we lost the Immortal at SAF because I thought we were going to lose it at KT. Because we had one guy die at KT. He got mind controlled and our tank killed him.
That's what happened to us. We had a mind control. I cloned the mind control. The clone resisted. And the mind control target like one-shot the enhanced shaman because
oh my god!
resisted.
Look at Matt. Yeah, that's literally. Oh, he mind controlled the off tanks. Honestly, that's the one thing we didn't do. Did you guys have an off tank? Did you guys run an off tank?
I couldn't tell
We
you.
don't run one anymore. We have our main tank just hold everything. And when he was cleaving, to hold the bugs, the giant bugs, and kill the MC. Because I did cyclone him, and so I got him cycloned. The cyclone fell off. I went to cyclone again, and he died. And I was like, there are 3 boomkins, 1 MC guy. I am the physically most difficult to CC thing,
What?
and I'm the
You
one
have-
CC.
You can
I
instant
have
clone.
instant.
Yeah.
And I got the first one. I got the first one. I did my job. But you have a resto druid and a boomy just chilling out. Ugh. I know, and I get. And Sebastian,
Everybody's got
actually,
my back. They're like, but you have
Sebastian,
instant clone.
what I tried to do, I know. What I tried to do was because I really didn't want us to, even though we'd already lost the immortal, I still wanted to have a perfect, albeit that one section weakness. So I went back to Cat and tried to build up combo points to then get another predatory swiftness, and I didn't get it because I only had 2 combo points up. So I was like, oh, quick, didn't get it. So I had to cast it, and he died. And it was one of our holy paladins doing ret stuff. He shouldn't even have been there, but I mean, he was doing ret stuff. But
Dude,
yes,
I was
they
scared.
can.
I was scared on Saf myself because we had 2 ice blocks right on the inner circle, and then the third one was across the map. So I was like, I got to go to one of these in the melee range. And I went up there and I got in position behind the ice cube and I saw the white damage from a melee swing. And I was like, oh fuck. I hit escape on my keyboard. I was like, no, stop. That's the first time I was on that inner circle. And I was like, no,
Yeah, dude.
Don't let me die.
In fact, I think somebody in our guild even said, holy paladins, if you get into melee range, everyone should escape, because a lot of times what they'll do is they'll bind start attack into their judgments, so that if they run into melee range, they'll automatically hit. And so if they're same thing as you, if they run in with the ice block, they don't think about it because they're not a melee class, and they it only takes just being able to hit them. Your balances are crap. No, what are you talking about? My balances, they're pretty good. I mean, 97.
Sebastian's, I think.
Oh, our feral out DPSs. Oh, okay. I think overall I beat our balanced druid, but only because I pump really hard in trash.
Our feral pumps, man, single target. I don't know if they do too well in trash. But...
Dude, honestly, the only class that consistently beats me in trash are rogues, because rogues are doing 30k DPS, and I can only do 18 to 20. They can't.
That's who I lost to. I was second on overall. The rogue was on top.
Sebastian, I read your comment. I appreciate it, by the way. I think every time he writes in my comments, I think he hashtags RestoCat, because these are RestoCat.
Yeah,
the way you can beat a good balanced druid. No, 100%. A feral druid DPS should never beat a druid, or a balanced druid DPS. If you are, either you're absolutely good and they're not good, or you're both really bad and you just happen to come out on top. Because balanced druids, they have and this is not a shot at balanced druids, they have an easier rotation and an easier kind of boost button. We have a 3-minute one, yours is 1 minute. So those 2 things alone should give you a huge edge. If your Starfall was 3 minutes, it would be a game changer. You'd only be able to use it once per boss fight. That's our Berserk. That's our big boost, and yours is just better. Yeah, I'm saying they're better.
I was looking at patch notes the other day, and it did say, I think Starfall originally was 3 minutes, and then they reduced it down to 1.5 minutes, and you can glyph it for the 30 seconds off of 1.5 minutes. So yeah, a minute.
It's so broken. And the thing is, so I was doing. I've been leveling my boomy. I think I told you that. I mean, you might have seen on the stream. And I've been doing. I was doing PvP because it was AV weekend. For ST.
Single target.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they should be. But the cleave is still pretty decent if you know how to do it. What was it? Oh yeah, so I'm leveling my boomy, and I've been doing those camp farms in Dragonblight, going around, and I forgot about getting the glyph. I finally got the stupid glyph. to reduce it down to 1 minute. And I was like, this is dumb. I can literally run over here, melt them, loot, and by the time I get to the next camp, it's off cooldown, and I just do it again.
Yep. And then by the time you clear all the camps, the first one's respawn.
They're reset. Yeah. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, have you done a video on that? Because that's like a really cool place to farm.
I might have early on.
It's not as good for ferals. It's absolutely a killer because it's the right size too. Like 7, 8, right around there. So you're not getting like super melee. Sometimes you pull 10, but like yeah, you can just kill them all. For sure. Did you do any videos this week?
I tried to pump one out yesterday because I realized I didn't have any. But
that's what I do.
Yeah. I was like, oh no. But it was just kind of like a review of like idle swapping because I still can't get the time to sit there and make a proper video on it. And it was basically saying like it's not going to increase your ceiling, like your DPS potential to idle swap. If you're getting eclipses like proc after proc, like as soon as one eclipse ends, the next one starts. If your rotation is like a good RNG fight like that, it's not going to benefit you to idle swap. But if you're struggling and you have a low crit percentage, you might be a little bit under geared, and
it might give you like a little boost to make it.
Yeah, it might stabilize your floor instead of like losing so much DPS by not having the Wrath Idol on while you're trying to get into Lunar Phase.
I feel like that's literally everything that ferals do, like all the stuff. I mean, with the exception of lacerate weaving, which is above and beyond. It really is like, hey, you know, you can only get this high, but if you do these little things, if you're only this high, it might help you get closer to this high. It's not gonna, you know, with the exception of lacerate weaving right now, because it is like 300, 400 DPS increase, which is, you know, pretty significant. For me, by the way, both of my videos I did this week are phase 2 related. I did Abyssless. I think you did one last week. I did Abyssless for phase 2. I got a bunch of crap for it. I expected it. And what I really like is I found out some stuff that I wasn't even aware of. So some people are actually going to stop raking in phase 2. I don't know how well you know Feral. But the bleeds you keep up are Rake and Rip. And then you've got Mangle as the debuff and Savage Roar as your buff. The 2 bleeds though, Rake is super short. It's like 9 seconds and it's annoying and it only does like a little bit of damage. It only ticks 3 times. So like you can't clip it because you'll lose so much DPS just by clipping it. So if you're going for Armor Pen, which is what my video was, if you go for Armor Pen, you're boosting your non-bleed damage so much that actually one shred is better than 1 rip. So like instead of rake, instead of raking, you shred. It does more damage than a non-crit shred, but shred crits a lot. But I don't even think I think right now it is. That's how it is. I think in phase 2 when we get Armor Pen, because the shred damage should increase drastically with all that Armor Pen, that the rake isn't going to be able to compete because yes, it's going to boost with the crit and the attack power, but it's not going to, well, not even at the crit because rake doesn't crit until phase 3. But yeah, rake is only slightly better damage per energy right now, exactly. But with tier set, it will crit. No, I don't think it won't crit. It will give you the opportunity for an Omen of Clarity proc. It does crit in phase 3. Sorry if I'm going on a feral rant. I apologize. This is a feral channel. Be fair.
Hey, go for it, man. Go for it.
But yeah, so like I think it's phase 3. Can someone tell me what tier? I know. So if you guys don't know, lacerate and rip can crit. The only bleed that can't is rake. However, you get a tier bonus later on that allows rake to bleed, and I think it is phase 3, tier 9. It might be tier 10. Regardless, it's not going to bleed in phase 2, or it's not going to crit in phase 2. So rake has lost more value because it doesn't crit. So in theory, the best thing to do is, and this is just in theory, I was reading their article on it and looking into it. Don't hold me to this yet. But apparently it's better to keep your rip bleed up and lacerate weave, T9, thank you. And lacerate weave so that you get the crit chance on both of them. And you still get the high Omen of Clarity proc from the tier 8 2-piece. Jesus Christ. Sorry. It's all been
You're
sitting in
good.
my
You're
head.
good.
Yeah, I don't want to get in. I don't want to get into phase 2 yet because we've got something to talk about. So I don't want to go into phase 2.
Yeah, I updated my set a little bit on phase 2 because the item levels updated since I had put out the first video. So there's still a couple items that I didn't realize weren't at the item level they should be, like Valnir's not up there, and the Alagon loot, the Alagon 25 hard mode
Yeah.
wasn't up there. So there's a couple pieces from that boss and the legendary that, when those stats get properly adjusted, might shift my set a little bit more.
Hold on. I'm gonna look at tier 10. One sec. Sorry.
Yeah, we have the same thing coming up. I think it's in tier 9, where Moonfire dots can crit. And it sounds kind of like your dot situation.
It's actually the same thing. I think it's in a different tier though. Okay, so it's in tier 10 actually. Yeah, I just read it. So your enrage ability no longer decreases your armor. That's actually huge for bears, by the way. I mean, and it's not huge, but like right now I enrage Barkskin because enrage lowers your armor. So Barkskin kind of like kind of cancels it out, reduces your armor. But if you can enrage without having the consequence of that, you can save your Barkskin for actual like risky moments instead of just using it during an enrage. And you can spam enrage all you want, which increases your current damage. Instead increase all damage by 12%, decreases all damage by 12%. So that way, now your Barkskin and your enrage both decrease damage, and the periodic damage done by your rake ability can now be a critical strike. Yeah. So I read it. I saw the note and read through it. That it got deleted, but it was there. But yes. I think
so. Your dots are gonna change, or your bleeds are gonna change, and I think ours are gonna change too. Because like right now we're only really insect swarming for the most part, and I think we'll try to get back towards Moonfire more next phase.
Yes, it's like that. Like how it's actually a lot like that where you have a set rotation now, but in the future because of tier sets, you might, or even just gear changes, you might stop doing that. Like how you stop doing Moonfire. We're right on the cusp of Rake dying, and with ARP, it'll go away, and then the tier 10 might cause it to come back because it can be crit. But if by then they decided Shred still is the better use of that energy, it may, even with the tier, they may just skip the tier bonus because I think it's the 4-set bonus, right? Oh, okay. No, I'm not deleting stuff. It's automatic. I think it's the 4-set, so people might not even get the 4-set bonus. And rant. This is what I'm like when I make videos. I record it and then delete it and delete it and delete it.
I've done that a couple times. I've like recorded like a 45-minute thing. One time I did it and I didn't realize I was muted. Like I wasn't recording the audio.
I do that all the time.
My gosh.
And I go to edit it. I'm like, where's the sound at? Oh my god, what a waste.
Yeah, but I've gone through and edited a 45-minute like take down to like 3-4 minutes, and then I'm like, yeah, it's just trash can.
Yeah. And then the idol thing came up too. So you're doing idol swapping. So, okay, man. So we have 2 idols that are kind of like a thing right now. We have an idol for Rip. We have an idol for Shred. And I'm going to be sticking with the Rip idol, which increases the Rip damage. However, if I do stack Art, someone in my comments made an argument that, well, if your Shred is now going to hit for more, it makes more sense to boost your Shred because your armor pen is going to increase that value even more. And that does make actually a lot of sense. Some people are even talking about using like a Bear Weave Mangle version of idol swapping. I don't know, man. Idol swapping is getting not out of hand. It's getting complicated. It's its own factor that you have to think about now.
I love it, and I got to see how the new Insect Swarm idol interacts, because if I can use that to snapshot at the start of the fight and get like a beefier Insect Swarm, I would really only do that while I still had the tier 7 2-piece. And I'm still glyphing Insect Swarm. Like if I'm not glyphing Insect Swarm and I don't have the 2-piece anymore, then like I don't think that idol's going to get any value at all. But there's some later idols.
I'll look at them.
There's some later idols. One is if you cast a Rejuve, you get a spell power like 16
Oh,
spell power
really?
per yeah,
And people
like
are gonna do
it
that?
stacks up. Yeah, so it's like one of those things at the start of the fight, right before the pool, you like pre-pop your potion, you cast a rejuve with that idol, and hopefully that spell power buff stays on after you swap the idol. There's all these little interactions with it that could give
Here,
you some extra damage, but might not.
let me switch this. I don't know if this will help. Okay. So go. I don't know if you can see this on my screen. I know you can on the Discord, but so I'm looking at like different idols. So there's Idol of the Crying Wind, increases the spell power of your insect swarm, and that's Aldor 25. Are you going for that?
See that's the one where it would only be at the start of the fight, like the very first insect swarm, like maybe fairy fire, pop your treants, and then insect swarm. And in that insect swarm, I would swap that idol off as long as that idol benefit would snapshot with the insect swarm, and then I would just keep Starfire idol on the rest of the fight or something.
Yeah, those. There's only a couple. Like Idol of the Corruptor is the one that we get, and then you get Idol of Crying Wind, and then healer druids, resto druids get Nourish spell power increase, which is definitely really good. Because Nourish is like a big spell that druids should be using, I think. And then you get. So are you using Idol of the Shooting Star then right now?
Yeah, shooting star mainly, and then you could use the Wrath idol as well right now.
Wait, which one?
I can't remember what the name of it is. It's Steadfast Renewal. I know there's a delay, but it's like it's a couple idols down from the Starfire one. It's from Emblems too, if you look at the source.
There we go. Increase the damage dealt by Wrath. I thought Wrath is more of like a filler until you can Starfall. Is that not right?
I
Starfire,
love Wrath. Wrath hits so hard. It is GCD capped in like 99% of the fight, so it's not benefiting from it like most haste situations like Lust and heroism and stuff. But Wrath critting so hard just feels really good. So I like having that idol on. So that's why I've been swapping a lot between those two. But I tried not swapping last night, and not swapping felt really good too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got top. Well, I got 30th in the world on one of the fights. I think it was Gropulus.
Congrats, bro. That's huge.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever broke 100. I'm not gonna lie. Like
I was pumping.
It's hard to like get into the, especially if you know, like because everybody's got to be pumping. It can't just be you. So yeah, good for you, man. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna switch this screen back. Of course, I know how to easily. Yeah.
There's a couple Moonfire idols that are from PvP. Like if you're really trying to like get into this whole idol swapping
I saw
thing,
that there's a lot of them up there. Yeah.
You can like get some extra spell power from using a Moonfire. So that's another one where it would really only be at the start of the fight. Like you hit Moonfire, like you go through your opener, Fairy Fire, Treant, like Moonfire, get the spell power buff from your Moonfire, and then that's gonna like help your Starfall.
Yeah, wasn't you talking about
PvPer.
It was similar to the. You're talking about the Reju one though, right? Like where's that one at?
That's really late. That's like the last.
Oh,
patch.
okay. I thought it was coming.
ICC.
I was like, I don't even see it.
No.
Oh, okay.
I was like reaching out to like the later phases when I brought it up in the video I made.
Yeah. So Neth said if you want to run T8 4-set at Aldor, you're going to have to Insect Swarm.
Yeah. So that's the thing. A lot of people don't want to run 4-piece, and I'm one of those people.
Oh, bear.
Because
Okay,
you have to have
go ahead.
Insect Swarm. You have to have Insect Swarm up in order to get the Starfire proc. And if Insect Swarm's not getting buffed by the 2-piece tier 7, it's not getting buffed by the glyph, because I'm expecting us to drop the Insect Swarm glyph. Then it's not even going to be worth it. It's going to be like a DPS loss to cast your Insect Swarm just to try to get a Starfire proc.
You're just always shifting like the pairings then, right? Like. And so like each phase, you kind of pick two of them that you focus on, like Moonfire and Starfire, and this month it's going to be Wrath and Insect Swarm or whatever. That sucks, because like I feel like we go through the same thing, and like we're going through it with phase 2. I do want to point out Table Slam. I did see your message, by the way, Table Slam. He said one of the things I want to test with the 2-piece is reverse Mangle Weave. Now I've heard you talk about this. I'm going to read what it is. So you go bear, first GCD you lacerate, then you idol swap to the new Mangle Agi proc. Second GCD Mangle, then shred idol swap back to cap. so you're not losing your GCD. You're not, you know how like you get the GCD when you idle swap. If you bury the GCD in the shifting, you don't lose as much. You lose a little bit of white damage, I think. No, because white damage isn't affected by GCD, so I think that's good. Yeah, table. Let me know how it goes. Barrel DPS is way harder. What do you think? I'm curious what you think.
Sometimes like during a boss fight, I can go through my rotation and I can take a sip of my drink. So I mean, it just depends on how comfortable you are with your rotation, I guess.
I think I could do that. I think. Wait, can you use both hands to do that, or is it just like a one hand thing? Because like I think when I bear weave, when I'm waiting for my GCD, I could reach over, drink, put it back, hit my second lacerate maul, cat shift, and I'm fine. Like, but I've got the 5 or 6 seconds of like, but it's a very small window, and while you're doing that, you need to be paying attention to your rip time. So I don't know. I know. Listen, Nest. I obviously think Feral's harder, but I'm not. I don't want to just assume everybody thinks that. Maybe Boomkins think it's harder. You can one hand balance through. Do you think that's true? Do you think you can play your game with one hand?
Yeah. I mean,
okay, then we win.
It'd be hard to like adjust your camera. So like the hardest part for balance through it is not pulling extra stuff with like Typhoon or Starfall.
Yeah, you need to get like Ferals need to get like the beer pith helmet that has, and then you can like I'm drinking right now. It's honestly, I will tell you, when people are like, hey, I'm new to Feral, and you're like, oh, good luck. Like, you don't know what you just did yourself. Like, and they're like, I jumped into raid, and you're like, oh, cool. How much time did you put into like the trading dummy? And they're like, oh, I'll figure it out. And I'm like, oh, no, you won't. No, you won't.
Dude, Table's been talking about the I forget the term, wrath weaving.
Yeah.
And it's got me like thinking, because I'm like, it makes no sense that ferals have a higher chance to proc Omen of Clarity with their wraths. Maybe it's because it's an instant cast, and that has something to do with it. Like the cast time, the longer the cast, the harder it is to proc Omen from that cast.
I don't feel sorry for you. You can if Innervate gave me back energy, I'd be like, you know what, you have a point. Like if Innervate gave whatever energy or whatever power you use, it just increases it by like 80%. Fine, I would innervate myself and be happy. But you're like, oh man, sometimes I have to stop rotating to press innervate so I can keep doing damage. Oh man, life is so tough for me as a balance druid. That's you. That's what you do.
Can I get a squawk right now? Can I?
Hold on.
I'm not doing it again. No.
Yeah. Feral's pretty hard to play in PvP. I know that its PvE is a lot more involved. I think they're both hard. I was doing some PvP a couple days ago, just some like casual PvP. It's fun though. Like especially if the better you understand. I mean, this is true for like all classes, but the better you understand your full toolkit, like not just your PvE blinders. Like these are the 7 buttons I press. When you start realizing like Cyclone and you have instant root. You can use instant cyclone. You've got so many buttons that you can press. Like a good feral knows when to shift bear in charge instead of doing like the feral charge of cat. Like all these cool things, and I suck at it. But like when you get like a good move, you're like, oh, I'm good. I never feel that way with the PvE. Mouse over macros for clones. Yeah, exactly. I love the mouse over macro for clones. Grif, I thought you were Scotty J from the stream. Hold on, I can do my British accent. Scotty J.
Oh yes.
Bro, it's Scotty J here. I can't.
Wait.
Mate, let's go. Go play some WoW.
I can't really be bothered, mate.
Not be bothered. Not be bothered. Do the outro. Doesn't he just say do the outro? No.
Yeah, he's like roll the outro. There's a bunch of ways you can support the channel.
There's a bunch of ways you can support the channel. There's a lot of ways you can support the channel. To keep me pumping out content. I'm Scotty J. If you guys don't know who Scotty J is, he is, I don't know, he's like my big brother. He did all this before we both did. And yeah, he's a cool guy. I think we both know him. I know you know him. I know
Oh
him.
yeah.
He's not. He's a great guy, and we're gonna compete on his stream soon. That'll be
Yeah, we
fun.
got to sort that out.
I
Yeah.
know. I haven't been able to get on his Twitch, so I haven't been able to talk to him for being a furry. True. I get that all the time. Like my raiders always joke with me, like, "Oh, well, Grif's clearly into weird stuff." Sorry, the soundboard's right in front of me. I gotta put it away. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, what were we talking about?
A bunch of things.
I know, but
swapping,
like,
mainly.
more buttons.
I
Oh,
think that's
just
where it started.
feral. Just feral. We think feral. We agree then. Ooh, I'll do a poll. This is not fair because I'm on a feral stream, but
It's
we'll do
fair. No, it's fair. My homie's got
Oh,
my
you
back.
should do the same one. On how do I do a poll? I haven't done this in a while. There we go. Start a poll.
Oh, you're talking about a live poll, right?
Harder class. Yeah. Wait, it's not class.
Yeah,
what is it? What would we call harder spec? Do PVE.
Spec, yeah. The harder
Balance.
druid spec.
Feral.
Yeah, speaking of polls though, we gotta get into our polls.
Yeah, actually, that's a good segue. Let's talk about our polls. Here, I'm gonna pull yours up and then I'll put it on the screen. I did not have it prepared.
Dang, dude, balance is in the lead. That's insane.
Because one person. Ferals. Ferals unite.
It was only me.
Feral, did you vote?
Of course I did.
Okay,
I
let's see. Okay.
I screenshotted that balance was ahead.
All right, let me let me turn myself down a little bit. It looks like I'm loud. Okay,
You want to do yours first or mine?
I already have yours pulled up, so let's transition to it.
Cool.
Okay, I know you can't see on the screen. I'm gonna go over it from the bottom. What do you focus on most during raids? Straight pumping and bosses, overall damage with boss and trash, and support role, decursing, intervading. I actually think this is different than I expected. In 63% pumping the boss, 19% overall damage with boss and trash, and 18% decursing, intervening, and other assignments. I think that's actually, I figured more people would pick 1 and 2. I did not expect many people to pick like the third choice.
Yeah, I debated even putting the third choice up there, but I'm glad I did. And a lot of people that commented, if you look through the comments, are talking about like supporting. And yeah. I think the two polls that I did kind of go together. If you can see the bridge that I'm thinking about between the two of them, but they almost have like really similar results. But
it is really interesting. I'm still tightening on my rotation and whatnot, so I just try to be the best throughout the raid, trash included. This is interesting because there are a lot of like different reasons people choose what they do. Just pump the bosses. Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
But yeah, I want to say they contradict each other, the results, because it's like the first one, everybody's like, yeah, dude, we straight pump the boss. And then I'm asking, have you cared about your 10-man parses in phase 1? And the same percentage basically say, nah, 10-man parsing's lame. It's like, wait. But the other poll, everybody said they want to pump the boss. And now
but like
that it's 10-man, they don't.
But 10-man is like whatever. Like 10-man is when you like, 10-man is, hey, I just have an alt leveled up. Can you help me get some gear? I know I did one like an hour ago. So let me see. Let me see how it looks. All right.
The people that cared about the 10-man parsing only cared about it, I think, because they went through their raid, looked at their logs, and they were like, oh, I was top 10 on this fight. 10-man's count?
Oh, no,
I did the same thing. I did the same for, like, Thaddeus, I think it was. I got a really high Thaddeus parse, and I was like, oh, yeah, 10-man parses. These are what we need to look at.
Oh, my God. Close poll. Okay, there we go. Wow, that was... Okay, so... sorry, my poll was in front of my screen. 10-man is harder to get the comp to do it if I don't have... I'm reading through these comments because I've missed a bunch. I don't give a damn. My alt's been 80 for less than a week, and I already don't need 10 minutes. Wait until Heroic Plus come out and 10-man's become... I care about 10-man parses if I'm like top 50 world. Okay, that's fair. Stream died, or is my internet?
It started to buffer for me too. Did your bitrate drop or something?
No, hold on. Okay, sorry guys. Something came up on my screen and it made me like interact with it, and that was probably when it happened. I apologize. It was really just Go's fault. I was trying to go for the Immortal Stream achievement, and clearly we failed. We'll get it next time.
The
for the next
resist
time.
failed again. Like, man, the clone on the resist, or the resist on the clone.
Is it back? Tell me. Can I get a thumbs up that it's back? Do you have it up on it, like on the screen?
Yeah. I see us going. Yeah, but
Okay.
it
Okay.
did buffer there for a second.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I must have bumped a button or something. Anyway. Okay. So I'm gonna go over my polls really quick. So what do you guys think of Heroic Plus? It'd be nice. Okay, this is actually really surprising for me. Hold on. You said chicken. I have
I
to press
picked
the
the
button.
top one, by the way. I picked the it'd be nice. I
Okay.
was part of that crew.
I'm actually surprised that that many people pick that because when I talk to people like one on one, they're like, "Oh, it's so stupid." Like everyone I talk to is like, "Oh, it's so stupid." But like in reality, like we did it. Like Go and I and a table I think was there. I think Nest was there, right? We did it. We had a
Yeah.
blast. We had fun, like just doing these harder heroics. So I think it's fun. I think the loot thing is cool. I think it's going to make people. I think if you're looking for a new gold farm, it's probably going to be farming one of the rings, and that's like what you do. Hey guys, let's go farm the ring today, and then you can only do it once a day, but whatever. For gear, just something I'll do for extra badges. And I didn't see your live stream. Feels bad, guys. 12% didn't see my live stream. I mean, can we talk about that for a minute?
12% of like what you're 4.25k. So what's 12% of 4,250? Because that's how many subs you have.
Oh,
And everybody did the poll too. So
100%. Actually, I only had 500 votes for that one. Today, it's been an hour. I have 156. By the way, guys, if you guys haven't done these polls, hop in and give us, because we like to talk about them anyway. We put polls up all the time. Okay, so the second one, this is Feral specifically, you're not going to relate to this, go. Are we ready for armor pen sets yet? Now, if you don't know, I did an armor pen video yesterday, so clearly I'm biased. But 63% said yes, stack that ARP. And then maybe late P2, too much competition. I actually don't disagree with that. I think getting the ARP is actually going to be harder than we think. Especially because you absolutely need Mjolnir's runestone in order to do this, and you may never see that thing. You know, it's just like Journey's End or any other like specific item when you're like, I need it. Well, if it doesn't drop, you're not getting it. And then P3 at the soonest. I definitely think by P3, everyone will be ARP stacking. Ferals will be. But yeah, I definitely think ARP is coming in hot. But
how many classes do you think are going for Mjolnir's runestone? Do you have like a lot of competition even when it drops?
I was actually thinking about that. I know Warriors are going ARP. I don't think Red are, but I don't know. I know Warriors are. That's the big one. I don't know what the list is. Because of all the gear changes, like the value changes, it might change what people go for because now they're like, oh, it's not enough ARP in P2, but now 3 or 4 items just got boosted on the armor pen. It might be a thing for other classes. So table says Frosty K Warriors and Marksman Hunters and Combat Rogues. No, I don't think Combat Rogues will. You think so? I don't know if Combat Rogues even care because aren't they? Whatever. I'm not going to assume. We'll see. All right, let me switch.
Can you show how to get to the polls real quick for
Yeah,
Sebastian?
if you go to anybody's page, like so this is mine, there's a tab called Community, and you can see all the polls. Like obviously this is my account, so I can actually like I can't click on anything, I don't think. Yeah, I can't. But you should be able to interact with all of them. For sure. Okay. Oh man, now it's in the camera. Okay. Okay, so let's cut that. Transition back to Feral and Balanced, the name of our show. OG Rat,
Did
I was
you get
art
that from
stacking.
somebody?
What's that?
Did you get that from somebody?
That's actually one of the ones I came up with.
That was you? Okay.
I really like. So I was gonna do Speak for the Trees, but I really like Feral and Balance, and I wanted to say Speak for the Trees on an episode we actually talk about Resto, and I know it's not gonna be today, so I scrapped it last minute. Yeah.
I still have no idea how to resto. Like,
It's
yeah.
easy. It's easy. Okay, so hold on, let me pull up my little list. So we did video poll, radio amateurs. Okay, do you want to talk about the dev stream now? Did you watch the dev? Did you watch the 1 hour dev?
I did today, yeah. While I was at work.
What'd you think?
I'm trying to think of any other rating things real quick.
Oh yeah,
if
go
I had
ahead.
any. We got a 2 stack on the on the Spark on Mally this week. That felt really good to actually like get the pump there. I still didn't get a good parse, but that part of the fight felt really good.
We on Mally, we popped heroism on pull.
Yikes! Dude, just take the teleport out, reset it. Like,
I think they did it also. They did it on pull on Grobulus too, and I was like, "What are we doing right now?" I mean, I don't care. It's a lost parse right there. As soon as you see that little symbol on your screen, you're like, "Well, there goes that." You guys don't know why I'm joking about this. For Grobulus, am I saying the right? It's Grobulus. Yeah, with the spores.
with the spore, Lotheb.
Loetheb. I meant on Loetheb. Oh my god. I'm like, Grobulus? No. Okay. On Loetheb, they popped it on opener. And if you don't know, what you should do is at least wait until after one spore. Most people, they'll wait for 2 spores so that at least 2 groups can benefit fully from heroism. Some people wait till 3. Popping it on opener is triggering.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And then they did the same thing on Malleus. And I was like, I don't personally care that much because as soon as we get the double sparks, he's up in the air anyway, and I'm just like, whatever. So it's really for the casters who would benefit from right then heroism, but I don't care. Damage.
We still tried to do the Gluth strat where you tank Gluth at the bottom of the tunnel. So as soon as you drop down, but you just tank Gluth right there instead of dragging him across the room to the back to the door. And we did better than we did last week, but it's still like a longer fight than what we've had.
What's the advantage?
Taking him to the back. It's supposed to be like a quicker fight time. Because there's less movement, you can pop everything. Instead of holding Lust for 12 seconds, you can pop Lust like 4 seconds in.
At the top of the tunnel, everybody rocket boots and parachutes, and you tag him, and everyone's in the back already. Like, it's legit.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And you don't have to parachute if you don't want to. You can just rocket, and you'll end up halfway down. And literally, it's nothing. You're not even moving. You're not losing any movement.
So
we had Gary.
We had 25-second extra fight length than we did on November 1st. So what's that, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
25 extra seconds by trying to tank in there because he's getting some of the skeletons and like eating them and regenerating health. So
we had a new guy doing the not skeletons. What are they? Grub. But they have a name. Chum.
Yeah.
And he let a couple of them in. I think maybe at least one. And the tank was just like, it's fine. Because, like, honestly, like, if you have a good enough DPS, it'll hurt your overall parse. But 1 or 2 is not a game changer. It's just, when you've never done it before, it's kind of confusing. I mean, I've only done it on 10-man, so I don't know.
I think that's all the boss I had to talk about. I just wanted to make sure.
I'm trying, now you make me think if there was anything that came up.
Yeah,
we got shocking.
Oh yeah, it took us a while. We got ours like 2 or maybe there's 3 weeks ago.
We weren't going for it, and like when we all got it, we're like, oh, cool. It wasn't like, it was like, cool, we don't absolutely suck at this fight anymore. But yeah.
we did change our Huygen. Let me backtrack here. So we had been at first we were still dancing at first for like the first 6 or 7 weeks, and then we stopped and we switched and we were like, all right, melee stay on the platform, casters and healers stand by the entrance to the room. And then we did that for 2 weeks. Well, this week we stayed on the platform, both healers and melee, and we
don't think
barely
it's silenced.
It was, I don't know how it works, because even Starfall, I had it glyphed to be like the reduced range, and it was still hitting, which is like a 21-yard range, I think, and the silence should be a 30-yard range, and I wasn't getting, this spell pushback, I wasn't getting the spell pushback debuff, but Starfall was hitting Huygen. I don't know, it didn't make sense, but we barely made the teleport DPS check. And
oh, really?
So, like, we haven't, even doing these other 2 strategies, other than just kiting the boss through the dance, it hasn't really improved our DPS. It's kind of weird.
I gotta say, we almost did the 4 horsemen new way with Zeliek first, but we were missing one DPS that we normally have, and we were just like, and we were going immortal. Like, so we weren't originally going to go immortal until we wiped on the first boss, and we're like, we might as well go immortal, right? But they said if we weren't going to go immortal, that was going to be one of the things we tried. And I'm kind of excited to try that because, especially for melee, it sucks when you're in Zeliek at the end and just praying that you don't die. Like, that's it. Like, there's no like, oh, I'll do this thing. It's just hoping that he doesn't target you or someone near you with a chain and you get hit by it. Whereas if you do it the other way, it's kind of melee beneficial. So, yeah.
I guess I should have remembered that we were 24 manning, I think, by the time we got to Hagen. So we did make the teleport check, and we had one less DPS.
Yeah. You see Ness going through the stages of grief in chat?
Oh, where's denial at? Can I start with denial?
Yeah, denial's at the top. I said, thank you. The silence is not 30. Fact checking. It can't be 30 yards. Really? Okay, it is. Wait, but now he's changing. We have a 30-yard range on the bus. It's 15. It has to be 15. I don't know what it is. I don't think Go was disagreeing with you. I think he was saying he didn't understand because he thought it was 30, but yet from a 21-yard range, he was able to hit Starfall. So I think really what he's saying is, I don't trust the numbers that I think. So that's really he's on your side. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, something weird is happening on the platform where, usually for Hagen, boomies have to take the glyph of focus off.
Oh,
so
really?
we have the full range of Starfire to hit Hagen as it's being kited around or wherever it's being tanked at. But yeah, for this week, I didn't take the glyph off, and I was still able to hit the boss with Starfall and have the glyph of focus on.
Nice.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind that fight the new way because obviously, again, like they keep finding these melee-friendly strategies that I'm like, yeah, cool, let's do it that way. I don't care. I'm not mad about it. Hold on. I imagine you're arguing with yourself, Ness. I agree.
Dude,
nobody's disagreeing with you.
What's the way YouTube tracks it, like interactions or something? So he's boosting the interactions for this
just by himself. I'll keep this stream alive, whatever it takes.
He's doing it at a rate where he's not getting like the messages deleted too, you know? Because that happens and that sucks. Like we don't have control over that.
No, you're fine. Oh, Go, you were saying something about how people should like this video, right? Something like that?
Of course. I mean, 6 is pretty low. Like we're single digit likes, and there's 15 people chilling. So I mean, hey.
I feel like you guys are telling us a huge, just end the stream now, and I'll take that one extra like. Okay.
There's lots of ways you can support the channel.
Yeah. Wait. There's little ways you can support the channel. I've got things. I'm on the podcast. Check it out. Here's a clip from earlier. I've got a whole gaming room because I'm rich apparently, and I can afford a room dedicated to me. I just play on the couch over there. They call it a couch. What do they call it? The sofa? I don't know what they say.
Sofa, yeah.
I don't know. I actually have, if I could green screen, I'm wearing a green shirt so I can't. I have my green screen, if I put it up, I actually have a shot of Scotty J's, like, when he got up out of his chair, I took a snapshot of it, and I was going to stream with him and use his background and mess with him. So I do have, like, a background that is his old office before he redid it the third time. Did he tell you about the camera tracks he's trying to install?
No, he's trying to have a moving camera.
Yeah, like he wants to run kind of like railroad tracks on the top of his thing, and he can move the camera around to any angle. Pretty nuts. Didn't know. Dude, Sofa.
He always changes his setup. Like,
I know.
To try to
hey, I wish I could.
It's crazy, dude. Yeah, it's insane.
You ready to talk about Heroic Plus?
The dev stream or the Heroic Plus, or the dev stream, or both?
It's all the same because the dev stream talks about Heroic Plus.
Yeah, let me pull up your
My
notes that you had taken. Yeah.
Okay, I have a lot of them. Oh, hey, thanks, Nest. Appreciate it, man. See,
Yes.
Nest supports the channel. Become a member
Legend,
today.
man.
Legend. That's what it is. We have to get some clips of his, and I'm gonna add those to the sound board I have. Legend.
All right. Can I talk about my short idea that I had real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, because it kind of ties into this. If I had like a soundboard like that, then that's where I would use it at. So the the idea I had while I was hiking yesterday was I would like get up to like a trailhead where it like branches off in two different trails. So like one trail would be like the Blue Jay Trail. I would like look up in a tree and see a blue jay. There'd be a sign that says like, the Blue Jay Trail. And I'd be like, oh yeah, that's right. That's the Blue Jay Trail. I've never been on this one. I wonder what it's called. The sign's messed up. And I would start to like hike on table nose. I'd start to hike on the other trail, like the unnamed trail, and I'd start walking. And then like faintly from far away in the distance, you would hear like something. And it would be like I can't even think like what examples I use, but it'd be like roll the outro. And I'd be like, what was that? And I'd just keep hiking a little bit further.
Oh
and
my god, I know where you're going with this. It's so
yeah, so like I'd walk like 5-6 more steps, and then I'd hear, we're close to the level 5 hype train, boys. Come on, let's smash it. And then I'd be like, you guys hear this too, don't you? And then take like 5 or 6 more steps, and then it'd be like, there's lots of ways you can support the channel. And it would have like Scotty J's face pop out behind a tree.
and you'd be on the Scotty J Trail.
I'd be on this, instead of the Blue Jay Trail, I'd be on the Scotty J Trail. And I'd like, it's the Scotty J Trail. And I'd be running out of the trail. And it would be like a minute or less video because it'd be a YouTube short.
The build for that story.
I tried my best, dude. I tried. I know.
Legend. I really do want to. I think I might have to go through his clips and just pull phrases and just drop them into my soundboard and just like, legend. It's a journey. We went on a hike for that trail.
Do you ever have like random ideas like that while you're hiking?
All the time.
Yeah. So that's what was happening to me yesterday.
Where do you think my psych podcast came from?
Sebastian.
Whoa, Sebastian! I don't know what kind of money that is, but thank you, Sebastian. Supporting the channel. Thank you, Sebastian. Is basically apply was to everything. Wait, give me an example, Nest. We was on a podcast. And at the end of the trail is a staff that looks like a horse head. What?
Oh, I couldn't really be bothered.
Oh, Journey's End. You're so stupid. You guys are just dumb.
I shouldn't have brought up this idea.
Oh, man. If you guys don't know, because it's so stupid, Journey's End is the feral druid weapon, and it is a stick with a horse head on it. I thought you were going, what was we doing? We was on the PTR testing stuff. And, I tried the heroic process. I did not like it. Rough. Back to my roots. Man, I really gotta learn how to do an accent, A, and then learn his phrases, B, and then grow a nice, comfortable beard, and then, like, yell at my kids randomly. Oh, heel. No.
Laura, come grab the kids.
Laura. We clearly watched Scott. My Little Pony. Thank you again, though, Sebastian. Really appreciate it. Where is not a thing in Scotland? It was. He was kicking. I don't know. He always has that one song playing. I've got to download that one song with that actor. Doesn't help. Can't think of his name. Idris Elba.
Oh, okay.
He always has that song playing in the background.
Yeah.
I can't play it on here because it's copyright.
Oh, there's 24 votes in the poll. Hold on.
Oh my god, I forgot about the poll.
Oh, balance is only 12%, bro.
That's accurate though. The 12 percenters is you. Is
True.
you. Well, it's probably two
That's
people actually.
It's got to be more than 2, dude.
Yeah. I'm gonna end this poll because it's decided Feral is the harder class.
Maybe 3 or 4.
What do you think's the harder to PvP?
Setting up a Starfall is actually really hard. Like, I played against a Feral Druid, and anytime I tried to Starfall, I got stunned. I got insta-cloned.
You
Like,
beat
it
me,
was
remember?
crazy.
You beat me.
Well,
I sucked.
I mean, I had more experience than you did.
That's fair. We was fiddling with those bobs and bits and it was bloody crazy. Bloody crazy.
Oh, gosh.
Look, hell, I need a beard. Go get another. Dude, okay, this is something. I'm gonna give you a legendary statement I heard Scotty J say. I think this is like, I'm the one we were both watching, and he's like, I need another case. And I'm like, who orders their beers? But, like, I mean, there's nothing wrong buying a case, but when you look at an empty beer, it never goes into my head, I need another case. It's, I need another beer. But he's like, I need another case. Lara, can you get me a case of beer? I'm like, Jesus.
Just brings over a whole new case, yeah?
You have a fridge, right? You have a fridge right here?
Yeah, a little mini fridge. Yeah. It's
right there.
I mean, for me, it's right there, but for you guys, it might be right there for you guys, but yeah.
Showing off my forearms. I used to bowl. Used to be on the bowling team in high school.
See, I work in a bowling alley.
Oh, do you? Are you pin setter? Are you a mechanic? What do you do?
Yeah. Yep.
I used to be a mechanic at a bowling alley.
What machines did you work on?
AMFs. So first of all, I started off on Brunswicks, but then I moved to AMFs.
Yeah, I work on AMFs right now.
Yeah. From like some old 1950 pin setters. I started working there in the summertime. So like my first job there was to completely take out all the roller bars and check them, and then replace them. And I'm like, how can you tell? He's like, you can't tell. And I'm like, they seem the same. He's like, no, like here, listen to it. It's bad. And I was like, bro. I was like, just tell me which ones are bad and I'll fix it.
Yeah. I mean, you can hear them when the machine's running and they're still in the machine.
Yeah, so AMF, yeah, anti-magic shell pin setter. No, but like, that's so funny that you were gonna put, because I really did. I worked at a bowling alley for like a year. And before that I worked at another bowling alley when I was like 14. I was the front desk and I was a pin hopper. So like, but there were the Brunswicks, so it was usually just like knock them, because the Brunswicks are kind of like those big giant wheels. I don't want to explain this. This is super nerdy, guys.
Dude, I could go into we could have 4 hours just on AMF machines, like bowling machines.
Yeah. I mean, I used to, because you have the platforms, right? Like the wooden platform on the top.
Up above, yeah.
Yeah, and I would run them. We had a 60 lane house, and I would just run them back and forth, listening to music out of boredom.
Oh yeah.
Ball on 19 again. Oh man. Okay, we took this is way off topic, guys. I apologize. We took the God, what are they called? You know the thing that triggers the foul line, the reflector, the reflector thing. So we installed reflector things on both ends of the back end lane, and then wired them to the office in the back where we'd sit. We installed a hidden TV underneath the desk behind a panel. So we'd pull the panel down, and TV would be there. We'd watch TV, and then if the little trigger would go off from the thing, we'd know someone was coming to hide the TV and be like, yeah, so number 19 is going to need a new face. Oh yeah, we'll be right there. We're just we're working on some
we're theory crafting.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, we're gonna lose people with the bowling talk. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
We'll save that for the end.
Ironic. Yeah, they're really cool. Like if you've never been back one.
I actually showed Nest yesterday or the day before, because we were on the Discord call and I was at work and I showed him. I was like, yeah, dude, like these are the machines that I work on.
Way complicated. Way more complicated than they need to be. But yeah. Anyway, and never go underneath one, you'll die. Like.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
People are like, oh, when you see it in the movies, you're like, no, man. No, that'll
lock out,
you.
tag out.
Yeah.
OSHA. Lock out, tag out.
For real. Anyway. Okay. Back on track.
Titan Rune Dungeons.
Titan Rune Dungeons, guys. Okay. So if you guys don't know, Heroic Pluses are now called Titan Rune Dungeons. And currently we're in the what's it called? It's like something alpha. It's like 3 words.
Oh yeah.
Data. No.
It's spacing right now for me too. It'll come in because every time I think about it, I space for a second and then it's like, oh yeah, that's what it is.
Did it
Something
alpha?
something protocol alpha.
Oh yeah. Anyway, it's so they're called alpha. Now, if you watch the WoW stream, Defense Protocol
Yeah.
Alpha. Thank you, table. Jesus. So if you watch the WoW stream that they did, they actually said that they plan to have later ones. So they're gonna have a beta, a gamma, and omega. Those are the ones they give as examples. So in phase 3, you should have access to both an alpha and a beta, and then going forward, each time they'll add a new one, and each one of the ones is supposed to be harder and have the different gear accord. So like even if you're a fresh 80 and you're gonna start doing heroic pluses, you can go to the Nax gear, the alpha, which is the Nax gear. Or if you have already gotten a bunch of Nax gear and you want to go to the next one, you can put the link in there. Oh wait, can you put the link in there?
Yeah, I forgot. As soon as I sent it, I was like, they're not gonna do it.
Throw it in my Discord. I'll grab it. Oh, I can't grab it from my Discord. I guess I'll have to look it up.
I sent it in a message.
I know, but if I click on that message, oh wait, maybe I can. Did I click something? Hold on. Yeah, I can't.
Ooh, what if you promote me to a thing in your chat?
Yeah, obviously I was gonna suggest that next. Oh man.
A mod.
There you go. You're a mod now. All right, try it again. World Tour is back, baby. Yeah. Well, honestly, like World Tours might get absolutely nuts because the amount of purples you're gonna get, you can just go crazy with the gem farms and stuff like that. Like obviously, it's still in a group. I swear I clicked it. I swear.
I'm just testing.
Could you not do it?
I'm not seeing the little like thing by my icon.
Oh, do refresh. Do a full refresh.
Oh,
okay.
I did.
We'll figure it out. We'll get the
Yeah,
link.
we'll worry about it later.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, in the thing they talk about that. So there's alpha, beta, gamma. So you're gonna have like a bunch of different versions of heroics that have different scales of gears. So it's gonna be a pretty wide range, especially if you're bringing in alt or someone's coming later. So I think this is gonna sound weird, but I think it's actually gonna encourage Cataclysm. This is gonna allow people to jump into the game late and gear up all the way up to like the second to last tier, and either raid at the very last thing, or just hey, we're going in with ICC gear because in theory ICC gear should end up in heroics because there's Ruby Sanctum. I don't know. That might not. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going. The PTR has sub pre-raid. If you guys didn't see our stream, me, Go, Nest, I think Table was there. A bunch of us, we actually ran all these Rogue Pluses. It's on my stream, you can check it out. You can see us doing all this, but essentially they don't let you bring your character over yet because Alduar is not there. So it's they wanted to test Heroic Plus with blue gear essentially. So we went in, we had fun. Now if we go in with our full Fist gear, I don't think we're gonna have the same experience. I definitely think we're going to just absolutely annihilate it. I think it's still going to be harder than Heroic Plus because you can't just like space out. You have to like, especially the UK UP, you can't just stand still. You have to move. The mirror image one, you can't just like, oh, it'll work itself out. You have to actually play the game. So I do think it's going to be more engaging. But yeah, that's the right word. Okay, Starter Heroic Plus, you have to click on the orb, blah blah blah. The orb. I don't know if you know this, but when we were doing it, you only need one person to click it. Apparently, that's PTR specific. In the regular one, all 5 people have to commit to the Heroic Plus. So keep that in mind.
I kind of wish it was able to be done by one, because the Prot Pally Subtle FW, he's been soloing like every single TBC dungeon. He's been soloing Heroics in Wrath. I would love to see what he could do in this.
Heroic Plus.
So, like,
maybe you can.
All 5,
maybe it's
like,
everyone in the group, not all 5 people. I don't know what kind of restrictions. That might be a good question. Like, hey, if I'm 2-manning this, do I just need 2, or can I bring 5 people in, click it, start it, and then the other 4 can leave, and I can play it, or do they get locked? I think there's a lot of interesting questions there. Yeah, the D&D fix, that's hard to see for sure. We did that one. It was like if you brought a DK, good luck. Good luck. But yeah, 100% health increase on all mobs, and 30% increase that of damage they do. So they hit harder and they take forever to kill now. And
And
then, oh, go ahead.
did you hear how they said that they were testing at 50% and said that that was too much? Like, I don't feel like 50% was too much. Like, maybe with that gear that specific gear set they gave out.
And the
But
example they gave, and then they said, oh, they got
yeah,
two hit. I'm like, two hit's acceptable. Two
yeah, you can
hit would be
heal
fine.
through a 2 hit. Yeah.
But you also
Well,
have to remember they're not trying to target this for hardcore players. This is for catch up.
oh yeah, yeah.
Even though
But
they said many times this isn't a catch up mechanic.
yeah, but the whole group, I don't think is going to be that under geared. You know, like I feel like a
You're gonna get, like, a
typical
mix.
5-man group that's going to do these, they could take a little bit extra health on the mobs. 100% did feel good with our gear, but
Yeah.
the damage maybe could be buffed up a little bit because
I-
I feel like the tanks were a little bit under geared. You tanked. Let me
Yeah.
know.
I get slapped every once in a while. I think something you have to think about is they don't want people to start doing gear score checks for Heroic Plus, which you might start seeing in the later ones. But like, hey, we're gonna do Heroic Plus. You need to be 4,000 gear score. Like, well, I mean, if I had 4,000 gear score, do I really need the Heroic Plus? So I don't know. Hold on, I'm trying to catch up. I just got a bunch of messages in. Wait, what does cat soup mean? Catch up. I just
Catch
got
up.
it. They don't want to have the work of nerfing outliers. It's not catch up, it's catch up. Thank you. But dude, hugging this with everyone on that gear, it's going to take a while. Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be slow. But I think when we get our characters on there, like when they release Alduar, hopefully we'll get enough people we can do a Heroic Plus in like purple gear and see like, is it a joke or is it still like a challenge where you have to like pump and pay attention and heal and have a good healer? I don't know. Let's go over the affixes though. Do you know them all?
Yeah.
Do you have them all memorized?
All memorized? Absolutely. So, in Utgard Peak, Utgard Pinnacle, and Utgard Keep, it's the Frost mechanic where you have to move to drop the debuff off, and where you drop the debuff off at, other people can take damage from that spot. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I didn't do it. You did. You did those dungeons.
Oh,
I
you
didn't
weren't in
do
there with
those.
us?
No,
Oh,
I
that's
didn't
right.
get
You
to
were
do
at work.
those.
You're at work.
Yeah, I think that's how it worked, though. That's what I picked up from it.
Yeah, it essentially it targets somebody and puts a small frost, underneath them, and if you don't look for it, you will not see it. It's not like a big circle. It's like your body. It's a little bit smaller. So like me as a bear tank, I literally had to constantly move to see if I had the frost buff underneath me, and if you get it, debuff I should say, you have to move really quick. And when you move, you make a trail, and anybody that walks through it gets the debuff and gets slowed. So it's like I think it's one of the hardest ones in my opinion. But
It sounded hard. So, as an Alliance player, what do you think about gnome warriors getting this buff? How hard is it going to be for a gnome to figure out that they've got the buff on them?
I think gnomes won't have a hard time because I think it's a set size. I think characters that are big, like I think Tauren bears are gonna legit hate that buff because even as an alliance, I was like, is it there? Oh, it's there, and then I have to like scramble away. Yeah, yeah.
All right, so mechanic number 2, there's 3 instances. It was Violet Hold, Nexus, and Oculus that all gave a mirror image, where every single mob, like literally every mob that you pulled, would summon a mirror image, like 2 mirror images of themselves, and they had like 101 HP. You could instant kill it, but you had to single target attack it. You couldn't
No
AoE
cleave.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no cleave, no AoE, no nothing. You had to actually target those images and hit them. And I didn't care for that. It prevents like giga pulling the instance and AoEing everything down, which okay, that kind of makes sense to like limit people from doing that, but I hated doing it. I didn't like the mechanic.
I gotta tell you, I think that's why I liked it. Because you couldn't just ignore it. It wasn't put on, I mean, it could be put on one person. I think the right way to do that is you have the healer all about that. The healer is no longer just the healer, they are the mirror image guy. It's essentially a dispel mechanic. Just quickly dispel it by hitting it. Dispel, dispel, dispel. And like, yes, as a melee, you still can help out and switch really quick, but and as a caster, hey, I'll Moonfire, but honestly, Moonfire is a waste of mana for that. Like,
Oh yeah.
You
Oh yeah.
can't downrank anymore. So I don't know, it sucks. But yeah, I think healers will be in charge of that. It'll be very similar to Mythic Plus, where healers aren't just healing; they have a secondary role, and I think it'll be that. No, you can't, White Oak. Um, you can swipe off of them to hit the other targets, but you have to stop and select them and do damage to them for it to go away. You can't just cleave it away, or else Paladins would just be absolutely broken. DNDs would just be broken. Yeah, caster wand. Yeah, go just use your caster wand. Get good.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. You need like a mage to do it. To just. But yeah, it does make it harder though. You have to admit, like it's not. It doesn't simply. It's not like a minor mechanic that you're like, oh, and now wait. You have to stop it, and it happens during boss fights. So like,
Yeah, the bosses were
the
crazy.
boss mirror images. Ferals will be good at it with our fast attack speed. Yeah, for sure. And we were running two Ferals. It was Table and I, and we were just running around and just hitting whatever we could. And Go was trolling us. I remember that part. I distinctly remember that. So there was a point. Check it in the stream. We were in Nexus, and Table and I are running the outside ring to get all these mirror images. And right before we get to each one, Go would moonfire it. And so we went to the next one, and he'd moonfire that one. And we're just like, gee, like, I rage quit. I mean, I didn't really, but like, that was troll for sure.
That wasn't
I was
even
like,
the
bro.
worst troll that I did. I
You
was
did a
trolling
worse
pretty
one?
hard. Oh yeah, you don't remember it?
Yeah.
When the boss dropped a really good piece of loot, and you were like, "Oh my gosh, this
Oh,
dropped!"
yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, let me knead on that
The Plague
Pharaoh's
Hound.
staff."
I honestly, I knew you were trolling because, like, first of all, it's PTR on a template character. Take it. I don't care. But yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I remember the reference I made when I was like knocking those mirror images out, and there was just two cats chasing the mirror images. I was like, I feel like I'm putting like a ball of yarn in
Yeah,
front of the
like,
barrels. Like,
Get him, come
Yeah.
buddy. Like a laser. It would have been like a laser.
a red
Like a
laser beam, yeah.
moonfire.
Oh,
Okay, so we've got mirror image. You did frost buff. What are the other ones?
there's the one that I didn't really care for. I don't think you have done it yet. Maybe we did Calling of Strathholm.
Oh, the zombie one. I read
The
about it.
zombie
It's
one-
interesting.
It sounds interesting, but in practice,
You get
like,
1 minute.
dude, you get holy water at the very start of the fight. Every single mob that you kill in there drops like 3 to 4 holy water.
Is it too much then?
At the end of the dungeon, you've got 50 holy water in your bag, and you haven't used a single one. Like, maybe I'm sure they have that there for comps that don't have a disease dispel.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, we had a paladin, and I guess
Yeah.
they got it.
If you watch the thing, they talked about how, because I didn't do it, so I'm basing this on the stream they talked about. They said that you can run back and get killed by Arthas, and I'm like, okay, why don't you just kill him? Like, I don't know. Yeah, and
I don't even
I
know.
think if they remove the ability to dispel it, it would make it more interesting, because then you have to use the consume, and they make that timer much shorter. Like 1 minute, that's a lot of time. Like 15
Yeah,
seconds, 30 seconds, even that's understandable. But a full minute, I mean, that's like 2 clears. That's like you pull the pack and you're like, hey, anybody that got it, use your potion. Okay, we'll go. Like it's got to be mid-fight, and you're like, oh crap, I gotta get the potion. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
I didn't do
and
that one.
I didn't see, like, I didn't get hit by it, so I don't know if a ranged is ever gonna have to worry about it. And maybe that's only like a melee thing.
Oh, that's even stupider.
Yeah, because
Like the little guys don't come and give it to you, like the randos.
no, I think it was like an enhanced shaman or something. Who did we have with us? Somebody got it like 2 or 3 times, where it actually like went off and they turned into a zombie.
Hmm.
And then they got to play as a zombie. Like, we couldn't attack them. It sounded like everything was friendly to them, so like they couldn't attack anything. It seemed really weird.
I mean, luckily it's only for the one instance, so whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so then A and OK have the web wraps, right? Did you do that?
I haven't done those, and
Mhm.
I don't really sound interested in doing those. But as druids, we can shapeshift out of the web
Can
wraps.
you? Can you?
We should. We should. Have you done them?
No.
Okay. I imagine we should
I
be
hate
able
web
to,
wraps.
dude.
I hate
Yeah.
web wraps.
Me too. But
Mm,
the only cool mechanic that we haven't got to yet is Halls of Stone and Halls of Lightning. I
I
haven't
went
tried
in
those.
there. I went in there and saw how hard they hit hard. Like I think that one
Yeah.
might actually be fun because I went into Halls of Stone. I think Halls of, I just ran in as a bear, put my gear on, and it literally like it took like 3 seconds to kill me, and I was like, oh, because usually like even with that, I've got about 10 seconds before I have to run out and die. I literally pulled them. I pulled a 3 pack, hit me, dead. It was so fast. Because I'm sitting there, I have a recording of it. I don't think I can pull it up right now, but it's legit pretty crazy. And obviously, if you have a healer, you're fine, probably, but you won't be able to speed pull. You'll have to like pull and
Yeah.
then pull because if you pull too many, you'll just get clapped. So I think that's kind of cool that like it will pace you in a way that when you get better gear, you can go a little bit faster, but it scales and scales and scales. So even then, you have to be very careful.
But
And then the GT or the Gundirect DTK one, we did that one.
oh, that's the Death and Decay one
The
that could
Siphon
be hard
Light,
to see.
it
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
seem to affect us though. Like
Not
our
too
tank
bad.
pulled out pretty quick. Um, but it was fine. Like even if they stayed in a little bit, it didn't seem to like break the game or slow us down ridiculously. I don't know if that needs to be tuned
Yeah.
up or what, but it was whatever. And it's hard to see. That
I
was the
think it
worst
should be
part.
a different color. Like make it green,
White, white.
make it white, make it purple, make it something different than
Purple's good
red.
too. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
everything's
something.
red. Oh, it's got a security alert.
What'd you
Um,
click on now?
I don't know. Pornhub.com. Anyway, did
Ooh.
I really get a security alert? Sorry. All right. So what else is there? And the projected textures weren't working. So they were working for us. They just sucked. Like we could see the projected textures, and maybe they just didn't project correctly. But we saw like a mist on the ground.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was a
it
little
was
red
it was a
mist,
visual. It's just hard to see. Oh,
like a little
I know what he's talking
detail.
about. He's talking about if you opened up the settings to the video option, you couldn't select any of the texture stuff. You couldn't modify it. You
Oh,
couldn't slide the beam. That yeah, that's what he means. Yeah,
okay, okay.
that's stupid. Security alert. Oh, never mind. It was OBS. Okay. I think that's all of them. Gun director. Yeah. Okay. Now they said specifically, and this is in my notes, this is not a catch-up mechanic. And my response was, I think this is a quote, and that's why I wrote it. It's just a new feature they've added to help those that don't already have 10-man gear to get it more easily. That's what a catch-up mechanic is. And then some guy asked later, I don't know if you saw this part, he said, so is it a catch-up mechanic or is it progression? And they're like, it's both. And I'm like, well,
Yeah,
by saying it's both, then you're also saying it's a catch-up mechanic. Ugh, whatever.
I know. Yeah, they must have had like a talking point where they were like, we can't label this as this, or people are
Yeah,
gonna freak
do
out.
not say
Don't
catch-up
call it
mechanic.
this.
I like that. I like that Chris guy. He was like, the whole
Dude,
video.
his
He's like,
thing
yeah, I'm
was
like,
zoomed
dude.
in. Yeah. Like how did nobody told him? Like he didn't see? Like yeah, he was
Yeah,
like
he's like,
in
yeah,
the
guys, what do you
camera
think?
with like the background of like a I can't with your face. It was
But
like a
that's what he was
palm
doing,
tree in
guys.
the
If
background.
if
Yeah.
you want to enjoy that video, just look forward to the time when Chris, whatever his last name is on the stream because he's like zoomed in, but zoomed in up here. So he's like, yeah. It's so stupid. Anyway, it's really funny to watch. Yeah, not a catch-up mechanic apparently. They did say this is not for geared players. I don't know, and I said not sure why they didn't try to make it for those people because if you had to pick a group or a collection of people that are playing right now that don't have content or are struggling to find new content, it's the fully geared ones. Like the lower geared people, you've got regulars, then you've got heroics, then you've got 10 mans, then you've got 25 mans, all to like look forward to. Oh
And
yeah,
for me, I've been playing alts, but a lot of people only want to play one tune. And if you only want to play one tune, yeah, you have nothing else to do
Yeah.
after you've done your raids.
Yeah, create an alt. Okay, so killing the final boss that is the daily quest target in a heroic plus instead of a heroic will give you the 2 you're gonna get from the heroic daily anyway, but you'll also get an extra 3 conquest badges. So even if you are fully decked out, it does make sense for you to do the heroic daily. Because right now the heroic daily gives you 2 valor, but the heroic plus in the future it's gonna give you 5 total conquests, which is huge because it's more than twice what you're currently getting. Keep that in mind. And you'll always be able to reduce now. So you can take your conquests and turn them into valor, take your valor and turn them into heroism.
Well, while you brought that up, I think it's a good time to explain that it's not only going to be valor and heroism emblems like we thought it
Good
was.
point. Good point.
And I got to use the restroom. Can you
Yes.
cover that real quick?
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Go, for sending it my way.
Little segue.
So-
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, hold on. He's going to the bathroom. Let me play my sound effects.
Oh, am I squawking as I leave?
Yeah. Okay, so if you guys don't know, originally we thought that emblems were only going to have 2 active at any given time, which is kind of true. So what we thought, I think they said this in their stream, was they would just continuously move the Valor Heroism to the next tier, so you'd only ever have to deal with Valor and Heroism. They're not doing that. Instead, they're kind of going back to the old way. So the way I've got it written down is emblems are going to stay how they worked in original Wrath. The raids will drop what they did back in Wrath. So for 10 and 25 man All War, they'll drop Conquest, and everything else now drops Valor. Heroic Daily will now give Conquest, and Heroic Plus will give Conquest for the final Heroic Daily boss. That's everything. That's it. I also want to point out, this kind of goes hand in hand with it. The end bosses of all the Heroic Pluses will drop either a 213 or a BOE, as well as 1 set token. Now, instead of having a random loot table, every boss will have a specific item loot table. So if you are going for a specific BOE, you can now farm that boss. So like think, what's the ring called? Help me out, table. When the BOE ring that everybody wants, strong-handed ring, is that the one? Or is it the other one? I have both and I don't know which one is. Surge Needle, thank you. The Surge Needle ring, you can now farm a boss for the Surge Needle ring, which is a big deal. I think it'll bring the price of Surge Needle way down. Will there's still be ways to get Triumph, or those become obsolete? Triumph. What? You mean Heroism? Kisby? So if you're talking about the Triumph ones, or sorry, I'm reading it. Talking about the Heroism ones, which is the current lowest emblem that's available right now. So there's Valor and Heroism, right? And then there's going to be Conquest. If you want the Heroism ones, you should be able to take your Valor ones. Yeah. You take the Valor ones and you can convert them 1-to-1 into Heroism. So you lose a little bit of value because you're using them to buy older gear. But yes, you can do it. You can't go the other way. So all of your Heroism stuff will stay. Your Valor stuff will stay. And the same thing with Conquest. You should be able to take your Conquest and convert it into Valor, and your Valor into Heroism. If you're trying to get like, let's say you're trying to get like a 60 Heroism piece and you've got 58 and you've got a couple of Valor, you should be able to take 2 Valor, turn them into Heroism, and then buy the piece. And that should go the whole way.
Heirlooms. Yeah. But I feel like it should go both ways. It should,
well,
you should be able to
should,
take, like,
but they're not going to let you.
You should be able to go like maybe like 5 from the lower to equal 1 of the higher.
If they did something like that, I'd be okay with it.
But not a 1-to-1.
But what you could do is, like, I don't use my Heroism ones at all. So I could build up like 700-800 Heroism, and then I've got 700 or 800 Valor. That doesn't really make much sense. But if they're like, it's a 5-to-1 or 10, even 10-to-1.
10-to-1.
You really just need 1 Valor. Yeah, sure, I'd be okay with that. I don't know if they'll change it, but is Greatness Agility still going to be BIS for Phase 2, or do you think another trinket will be good switch out? Peaky, I think it will be good until the end of Phase 2. However, I think it's going to fall off, especially if you're going full ARC set. But I do think if you have it, save it all through Phase 2. And then at the end of Phase 2, you're going to start looking for... I'm going to be on my set. I have Mjolnir's Runestone and Greatness. The thing I'm eyeballing is honestly, I was looking at Comet's Trail, probably not going to get it. but that's one of the ones that's getting boosted. So it's probably going to be even better than it currently was. Like Comet's Trail was considered one of the best trinkets in the game prior to the item level boost. So Mjolnir's Runestone is, I keep saying hammer. Mjolnir's Runestone is only great because it has so much art bonus on it. But the haste bonus that you're going to get from Comet's Trail is probably going to outshine Greatness because it's getting boosted. That being said, it's also going to be very soft. That's reality. But it's probably going to be minor. So if you have Greatness, sit with it. Sit with it.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised after all the item level buffs that there's not like a 252 or whatever the highest is, like trinket for all these DPS classes. That Greatness still outperforms
the 252 Comet's Trail, I think, will outperform the Darkmoon Fair card, but it's going to be hard to get, and the upgrade is probably only going to be maybe 20, 30 DPS. I don't know because we can't sim everything yet. Best class progression, Aldor, go.
Warrior. No, I took it the wrong way. I was thinking like what's gonna progress the most in Old War, but the best classes for progression, I don't know.
Paladin. I mean, if you're going for progression, Paladin's the best survival tanks. You're gonna need a lot, but you're gonna need if you're a feral, be prepared to tank on at least one boss. So have a feral set. Everyone does tier lists taking into consideration this gear. Tier list. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
Do we need to do a tier list like next week or something?
You want to?
I've never done one. I don't.
I'm gonna warn you. It's gonna be a little skewed in some classes' favors.
We should make a tier list and everything is just druid. It's just feral and balance on top of everything.
I think we talked about this last week. Do you think balance is S tier?
I'm sorry. Literally an S tier for this phase. It's.
Do you think it's gonna be S tier in Oldor?
I don't know. I'm scared. I'm nervous for balanced druids because switching from the tier 7 4-piece to the tier 8 set bonuses, we lose Wrath Crit, and Wrath Crit procs our lunar phases, so it's going to be harder to proc our lunar phases. But once we get into lunar phase, we can get the crit soft cap for Starfire in lunar and get 100% chance to crit with Starfire. So at the end of the phase, I think we can get to that point. But
interesting.
Yeah, like if there's a lot of AoE, I think we'll do a lot of AoE damage. But I haven't looked at the trash and the boss fights enough to say how balanced
the trash is less. The trash, and if we're talking about parsing though, the thing that sucks about that is there's bosses that have trash, and you don't know if the trash of the bosses counts towards a parse, and that may factor into a lot of your parse numbers.
Yeah.
Like if you have a lot of single target, okay, let's say you've got a single target player like me, and you've got a boomkin that's really good at AoE, and there's ads, and then hey boomies, we need you to starfall during that phase to kill them all, but they don't count towards your parse. Well, that might allow ferals or single target classes to creep up ahead of boomkins on certain fights. And is that fair? Probably not, because you're doing your job and doing it correctly. But it all comes down to Warcraft logs, what they decide. No, hold on, Peaky program.
Yeah.
Let me see if he said anything important. I haven't been bear weaving and been doing quite well. Do you think with the new tier set, bear weaving will go down with the amount chance increase with clear casting? Peaky, this is a great question. Am I allowed to go into this right now? Is it okay if I?
Hold on. I had a thought. But what was it? Oh, the sim is saying like balanced druid DPS isn't really going to go up that much, but the sim for balanced druids also doesn't have the item level boost, but still like it's kind of I don't know what the word is. It's kind of like it sucks to see that like it doesn't appear that our DPS is going to go up too much on a single target fight.
I think ours only go up. Man, I did the math like 2 weeks ago. 1,300. Am I right on that? 7,000? Oh, I guess about 1,800.
Yeah.
Which is significant for us, but we don't know how everyone's going to scale. And I think what Ness said is right. Like, sometimes they have to remove the AoE stuff because people will cheat and they'll pad, and they'll pad, and they'll pad, and they'll pad. So like boomkins might be like you might stop looking at boss parses and look at overall damage parses to see how boomkins are represented. I don't know because there's only like 3 fights I can think of where the AoE Noxeron's got trash, but I don't know if that's
a fight that sucks for us right now in Nax is Farlina, because 2 ads count, 4 ads don't. So if our stars
yeah.
if our stars from our starfall are hitting those 4 ads that don't count, we're not hardly getting any value out of our starfall other than the splash damage.
Yeah.
So it's like we kind of perform really well if there's like the boss plus 1 ad or the boss plus 2 ads, if like those 2 ads count towards the parse. But yeah, like when there's important ads that don't really count towards the fight and our damage kind of gets wasted on those, then it kind of sucks. And another fight, I guess, is Vesuvius. Like the ads don't count on Vesuvius. So if our stars,
anyway. Yeah.
yeah, if our stars hit those ads though instead of the boss, then we're losing a lot of our good burst damage. What's up, Joel?
I think you make a really good point because I actually noticed this this week in our raid. We were doing Farlina and I was pumping. Like I felt really good. I didn't top parse, but I got like a 96 because I screwed up my rotation. But look, whatever. I was still pumping. And then when I looked at the charts, it showed like DK's above me, Rogue's above me, and I was like, damn. I mean, like it's fine. I expect it, but like I was like, man, I really thought I was pumping. But then I went back and looked at it in the classic logs, and I moved up. I mean, I wasn't like way up, but the reason was because they were AoEing, and all that AoE damage got removed. So like I remember, I think our Unholy TK was number 1 on DPS, and he's now number 7 because all that damage he did that was still needed to beat the boss was removed. So like fights like that are kind of frustrating because what I used to do is I'd build my opener and then I would start cleaving to kill all the ads, and I've stopped doing that. Even though it makes the most sense to do that, parses don't encourage that, and I'm better at single target than AoE anyway, so I'm just like, yeah. And that sucks that you have to do that. You have to like modify. Joel says, what's up?
Oh yeah, what's up, man? What's up?
Okay, I'm gonna go on a bit of a rant about the conversation about really quick. It's
Oh
really
yeah,
quick.
what was it?
Man, hold on. A lot of these messages are getting deleted.
Oh, like bear weaving.
Yeah. Okay.
People are
So-
excited to chat, man. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's a bad thing, but it's yeah. Damn.
Yeah. So Stream Elements did it. I'll adjust it to whatever the gap is, long because we get it a lot. Okay. So first, Peaky program. I haven't been bear weaving and been doing quite well. Do you think with the new tier set, bear weaving will go down with the amount chance increase with clear casting? Peaky, there's been a lot of discussion on this, and we will not know until some of us get our hands on tier. The reason I say that is because if you don't know, the tier 8 2-piece set bonus gives you the Omen of Clarity proc, which you're familiar with, but it gives you the Omen of Clarity proc chance for both Rip and Lacerate. So what we might end up doing is still keeping Lacerate up to help increase the clear casting proc. Now, if the clear casting proc is no longer an issue, like let's say Rip is enough to proc it constantly, then no, we won't need to bear weave because the only reason we're bear weaving in phase 2 is to chase that proc. Yeah, so right, so exactly. So again, another thing you don't necessarily need. However, Rake might go away with an ARP set, but Rake also only ticks 3 times. So it's not nearly as ticky as Rip that ticks every second and Lacerate that ticks every second. So though Rake might help a little bit, if it turns out we want a higher percentage proc chance, Lacerate's going to be better than Rake in the long term. So bear weaving might stay. Now if we go through a rotation and between the Omen of Clarity proc, the Omen of Clarity proc and the tier proc is just crazy, then no, we will be pure monocats again, and hopefully for a long time, until we get rid of our tier 8 set almost immediately in tier 9. It sucks, but what are you gonna do? I mean, actually, I think we'll sit on tier 8 longer than we expected to initially because we need those Omen of Clarity procs so bad, which is gonna suck because we're gonna be stuck in old gear when tier 9 comes out. Yeah, I think it covers it. Hold on, I want to make sure Ness didn't say anything related to that. Oh, he was talking about razor scalable count, for example, and this is related to the AoE stuff. You kind of need to understand that Nax is a bunch of different patchworks and short fights, all the while you start to actually have to move a bit and have some mechanics. I'm not sure how that relates directly to what we were talking about. That could have been at any time in our conversation. So, but yeah.
So there's no talent or there's no glyph that increases rake to have an extra tick. It's the only way rake does damage is 3 ticks of damage.
Yes. Well, hold on.
I mean, not including like a tier 3 set bonus that you're not gonna ever use.
Tier 9 Druid Wrath. I think tier 9 has a rake increase. I don't remember what it is though. So
but just for Old War, like if you just keep it simple.
Oh no. Tier rake in Alduar, chances are, is either going to be last minute, like, oh, okay, I'll rake, or whatever, or it's not going to be used at all, unless we absolutely are trying to just get as many OOC proc chances as we can, like even with Lacerate and Rip Up. But that's the thing, Lacerate now becomes a higher prio than rake. Yeah, I think it's later though, Sebastian. Oh, wait. Is there a glyph for it? There might be a glyph of rake, but nobody picks it up. Hold on. Glyph of rake. Permanently teaches you... A rake ability prevents targets from fleeing.
Best glyph ever.
Wait,
that's a major
glyph?
Yes, that's
correct. Or with the tier pieces. Yes, Peaky it is. What's that?
That was a major glyph? To prevent mobs from fleeing?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You gotta get that. I mean, when you're running low-level dungeons, it's stupid and you don't need it.
What dev was sat at their computer like, alright guys, we need a couple more druid glyphs. Anybody got one for Feral?
Well, the thing is, Paladins have that same thing. I don't know if it still exists, but what's it called? Justice. They did the same thing. Prevents from fleeing. Yeah, it's a 15-second proc. And I want to point this out, Peaky, because we don't know yet. We don't know if the clearcasting proc 15-second CD is per bleed or if it's shared. We assume it's shared, but it might end up being that Lacerate has its own 15 GCD and Rip has its own GCD, and that creates an even more opportunity for bear weaving. So sit tight. We'll know in about 2 weeks. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, sorry. Let's get back to...
bosses. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so talk about emblems. Did we talk about achievements?
No, the end bosses
stupid.
will drop the 213.
Oh, I talked about that when you were in the bathroom.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I covered that. I did achievements. We talked about the emblems already. I'm going through my notes. Okay, so looking for group changes. This is a really interesting question, and I'm shocked. So one of the questions was, hey, looking for group. Are they going to change it? No, because, dude. Okay.
The answer, I shook my head. Like I was sitting at work, and I was like,
you know what? If you watch the video, the thing that really bothered me was that he didn't even, like, you could tell he wasn't ready for that question. He was like, oh man, I guess looking for group people use because we forced them to, and now we've modified a function of heroics, and we haven't accommodated them in any way in the tool that doesn't really work that well. No, we're not making any changes.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was mad.
So, in case you guys don't know what we're talking about, somebody asked, "Hey, Heroic Plus is now a thing. Will there be a separate section for Heroic Pluses so you can sign up for it?" And their answer was no. And his quote, and I quote this. I don't even see my quote. His thing said, "Just talk to each other."
Dude, when
So you join the heroic, and then you're like, hey guys, let's do a heroic. And then 2 people are like, oh, let's do heroic plus. And the other 3 are like, nah, I don't want to do heroic plus. And then the group disbands. And then they're like, just read the comments. Read the comments.
The first thing I did when I logged onto the PTR was I opened up the LFG tool to see if this was an option.
I did
Like
too.
how do I
like,
look for a group that wants to do this new protocol defense protocol alpha, whatever it's called, dungeon? And there wasn't an option for it. And I was like, so what do I just list myself for a heroic dungeon? Like how does this work? Dude.
What people were doing on the PTR was they were signing up for heroics and then putting heroic plus in the comments, and which is fine, but the system already sucks. So now if you're looking for heroic plus people, you have to go to the thing and then you have to hover over it to read each comment to see if anyone's actually doing heroic plus, instead of just going at the top and selecting heroic plus and seeing people with heroic plus. Like, this seems like a no-brainer, and they're like, "No, just talk to people, ask them. Hey, you want to do the heroic plus?" Like, yeah, I guess. What we should just get rid of LFG then. I mean, let's get rid of the channel. Let's put everything in trade chat and just have a good time about it. Okay, so Ness is mad that his spam is getting spammed. Okay, he says
I haven't been able to figure it out.
So they don't have a. Oh, go ahead.
I've looked through every YouTube setting. I can't figure out how to prevent it from deleting chat.
Mine says it was done by my stream elements, so I'll fix it. They don't have a big. So he says they don't have a big team for Wrath of the Lich King for sure. Plus, it's obvious that they have a lot of issues implementing things on the client. But I feel like the dev team we saw was the whole team in that video. Literally, the database guy, and then
No, that can't be it, dude.
That's it.
There's no way.
Yeah, no, it's my stream elements. I'll work on it while Go talks about Plagued and Black Proto Drake drop.
Dude, I'm not an expert on
Oh, you want me to say what it's about? Okay.
Yeah, what is it?
So those are the achievement mounts, I think, for Immortal and Plagued, I think, is for SAR 3D. Don't hold me to that. People don't want people to get it after phase 1 because you can just out-gear everything. So what they just said was, currently on the PTR, they're still available. You can still get them. But they also said they may make it so you can still get them only if everyone in your raid has a item level 213 and below. They didn't say they're going to do that for sure. They said that's an idea they're working with. All right. Yeah.
I got you. Yeah. So it kind of ties into another thing that they talked about, because there's one achievement where there is an item level cutoff in order to get it, and they were like, well, everybody's eye level's getting boosted, so we're gonna boost the damage and health of this boss. I can't remember what it is. You can help me out when you get done with that. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of the same thing with this.
You're talking about Elgalon.
Was it Elgalon?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's some achievement, like if you had over 226 eye level, you couldn't get the achievement or something like that. But yeah, I kind of like the accessibility that they're going to give to this achievement. Like, yeah, there's an eye level cutoff. But how does that work? Is that when you enter the instance, you have to have a certain item level, and then after you're in the instance, you can put on better gear? Is it pulling item levels from like items that are in your bags? Like, I don't know.
I don't know how they would do that.
Yeah, like, could it be cheesed? Because people would definitely cheese it. They'd be like, oh, well, let me just take my gear off, go in the dungeon, and then re-equip my gear or something like that. Like, I don't know how that worked in the past.
Yeah, that's interesting.
To me. It's all new to me because I PvP'd in the past. I didn't really raid, so
yeah, I don't know, because maybe it's at the instant of the boss kill, the gear's checked. I don't know. Like that's a really good question. I don't have a better answer than I don't know either. That's a good question.
Is there? I mean, even if it's at the pool or at the end of the fight, you could start the fight without a weapon equipped, and then equip your weapon after the boss has started, or take your weapon off at the end of the fight when it's checked there.
I don't know. I don't even know if they'll actually do that. Like that's my where my mind's at. Like they may just not do that. Like they're saying, oh, we might do that, but honestly, I feel like they're. I think what's the expression? Ahead of their skis. Like the guy was. The PTR is live, and they're like, "Oh, what'd you do for this guy?" He's like, "Oh, I'm working on it right now." We're like, the PTR is out, and you haven't
yet for that
like,
one. Yeah, let me look at my notes.
Aldor comes out in, according to you guys, in a week or two, and he's like, typing right in front of us. Oh, I'm working on it right now, and we're like, bro, what'd you rush the PTR for then?
I know.
Guys, not mad. I'm just, it's a little shocking when you see that, because like, if someone asked me that, like, oh, when's it done? You're like, oh, you know what? We're starting it, and it's starting in a couple days. Yeah, but like the live date is in 3 weeks, and you're like, we haven't announced it yet. We'll see. You know, I don't know. That makes me nervous.
No, it makes sense that they did say December 8th was the potential start date for Ulduar testing. And it was like they made sure to clarify this is only a guesstimate of when it could go live. And it's like after watching that interview, I'm like, okay, it makes more sense that, you know, maybe they're looking at so many things. If the team is only 3 people, then yeah.
So there's 2 things that just got said in comment. I'm going to repeat it. Table Slam said, I'd imagine it'd be the same way they detect eye level for Herald of the Titans. So Herald of the Titans is the thing you were talking about with Elglon. So yes, I think they have a way to do it. I don't know how it works. And I don't know how easy it is to implement either. Now with Sebastian's comment, group finder changes didn't occur to them. I think that's the thing. And it's not even just group finder changes for this. Like people have been complaining about group finders since like before Wrath launched, and not like, oh, we need to get rid of it. Like I was like, fine, let's use group finder. Can you fix it? Can you finish it? And no, they haven't done anything. Like unless Phase 2 comes out with a whole new group finder, which we should have seen on the PTR, I think we didn't. I don't think we're getting a new group finder. And it's fine that they're focusing on stuff that makes the game a little bit more fun, like the Heroic Plus, where people might enjoy that. But I mean, you gotta admit, Wrath Classic is generating them a lot of money. You'd think they'd put a little bit more investment into it. Yeah.
Here's a gripe that both of us have had, and I just thought of like a way that it's gonna continue on. So you know how when you go to list yourself in the tool for a heroic, and you've already done a heroic, it still allows you to queue for that heroic. We can only do either the heroic dungeon or the defense protocol alpha dungeon, right? But like we can't do both. So how many times are people going to do the heroic and then be like, oh, dude, I want to do the defense protocol alpha version of this dungeon now, and they're going to queue up for the same dungeon they've already done, as a heroic, and then they're going to get summoned there. They're going to go in. They're like, oh, I'm already saved. I already did the heroic version. I thought I could do both.
Yeah, I've given up on. I mean, I still use it because you kind of need to get like, because I do. The only reason I use the group finder is for my heroic daily, and that's it. And I always get stuck with like the worst pug, and I'm fine with it. Like, let's go get it done. I can carry a pug. Like if I die, or if like our tank dies in a heroic, I go bear and just like heal me. Like I will survive, you know. And it is what it is. Like I don't care. But it would be really nice if I didn't also hate signing up for the pug in the first place. But yeah, Joel, Classic Go is a pumper. Absolute pumper.
I did get to pump a little bit this week. Yeah, it was nice.
Argent Tournament. You want to talk about that?
I didn't
know
make
what
my
it
way
is?
over there. I know a little bit.
I did.
And yeah, I saw that you went over there, but I personally haven't gone over there. The last experience I had with it was on the beta when it was all just busted. There was floating flags and just pieces of building just in the air, and I was like,
what it was.
oh yeah, so they've updated that and you can actually talk to NPCs now.
Yeah, so I actually was able to do, I think I did one quest. So hold on, I'm trying to, oh man, that was a mistake. Let me just close that for now. Okay, so okay, So if you guys don't know, the Argent Tournament is the stupid night stuff that comes with Trial of the Crusader. But the Argent Tournament part actually comes previous to TOTGC. Um, TOTGC. Um, if you want to get your rep up for, I think it's called Argent Tournament? If it's Argent Crusade, that's stupid. But if you want to get rep up, or if you want to just get all the items, because there's actually some purples and some blues that you can get for your ults and stuff, you can head out there and do some quests. And then when Phase 3 comes out, the building will be built, and you'll get to ride your stupid... Have you done these? Have you done Argent Tournament?
I've done the jousting, yeah. That's what everybody talks about. I've done those in the past.
You know,
yeah.
I didn't do it for a long time, and then I was on a private server. I'm not allowed to say that, I think. Maybe like 8 months ago, and someone's like, let's do Argent Tournament. I was like, this is stupid. And I actually had fun. I'm not gonna lie. It was fun to do it. It sucked to do it because the loot from those heroics were so good compared to the other ones. You farmed it. Like you'd run the regular over and over again, and then you do the heroic every day. And I think that's what burned out that 5-man, because you were just like, okay, now we have to kill the dude and turn away when the light thing, and now you got to fight the DK dude, and it was just like boring. But like doing it once, like I think we did it like 2 or 3 times in a row because we were doing the regular to get some gear really quick. It was fun. Like I had a good time. But yeah. Anyone notice the saffron is broken again? We had a wipe on saffron, so he flew in the air though for us. He was in the air. On EOE last week, I threw a Serenite bomb as we were about to do the dungeon phase, and the platform respawned. I have a problem. I always get put in PvP in EOE.
Yeah, we had that this week too. I mean, we've had that every week, but what we've started to do, because I'm on a PvE server, is
PvP.
This week everybody had to slash PvP because a couple people will get flagged, a couple people don't get flagged. If it's the shaman that gets flagged and they pop lust, only 4 people are gonna get the lust. Yeah.
That happened to us last week. The shaman's like, I did. And we're like, and he's like, oh, I'm PvP flag. So look, we had 2 shamans. The other one just popped his, but I mean, the DK was already infuriated. I already popped my gargoyle. Sorry. I just think it's funny how small of a window they have, and so when they miss it, they get super upset. Okay.
I heard.
Go ahead.
Somebody was talking about doing double lust. So like you lust one group, and then you have people get dropped from your group, like the raid group. So when lust goes out, they don't get it, and then they rejoin the group, and then when it's their turn to get lust, they pop a second lust. So the fight that they used for the example was Thaddeus. So like I think it was Thaddeus. At the start of Thaddeus, they pop lust for the gargoyle snapshot, and then during the execute phase, they pop lust for the warlock snapshot.
Well, they could just use the PvP then for that. Like they should have the few players go PvP, and then they do it, and then everyone hits PvP, and then you pop it.
But then, like the whole fight, they're missing the raid buffs, like the auras and stuff. But yeah, I thought that was crazy. I was like, dude, that's pretty inventive. Like, drop people from the raid group just to get send the lust out.
People get really creative. Almost okay. Yeah. What's the line? Because we talked about this, and you're like, I have no line. I will do anything to get the top parse. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm starting to push up against my line. Like, I'm starting to be like, okay, but come on. Like, and maybe it's just me. But like, there's just so much stuff now. Like, so many cheese strats for every single thing. You're just like, there's got to be a line. We got to make it. Okay.
I tried a new strat this week for the first time. I'm a tailor. I got the tailoring buffs from crafting the 3 cloths before I went into raid. They don't drop off. So one of them is like 5 or 10 mana and health per 5. The other ones, it's 20 crit rating and 20 haste rating for 30 minutes.
Okay.
And I asked people in like the Druid Discord, I was like, hey, I've heard that you can get these tailoring buffs, log out for 4 days, wait for the cooldown to go off, log back in, get the buff a second time, and have 2 stacks of the buff. And I'm like, that's pretty sick, because that's 2 extra food buffs, because You can get the spell power food buff, or you can get 40 crit rating, or you can get 40 haste, or you can get like a hit rating. So that's just giving you 3 food buffs if you do that. And I'm like, that would be crazy. And somebody in the Druid Discord was like, dude, that's so sweaty and so unethical to get even just the tailoring, like just one set of the tailoring buffs. And I was like, that's really unethical. Like people think that that's unethical.
I think the problem, because that seems like more fun than anything. I think the problem is if you get something that's easily repeatable, everyone feels obligated to do it. Like the Treant one's a good example. Like, okay, so I'm going to list off all of the cheese strats as fast as I can for Feral right now. Idle Weaving.
Wait,
Snake.
do it in one breath.
Idle Weaving, Albino Snake, Weapon Weaving, Bear Weaving, Lacerate Weaving, Treant Weaving, Flower Shifting. I know I'm missing one.
Wrath Weaving.
Oh, Wrath Weaving. There's just a lot. And yeah, you can only pick a couple of them. Like maybe you can only do 3 at a time. And I'm sure I missed some too. Because the weapon swapping is 2 different things. Weapon swapping for the speed, or weapon swapping for the double enchant bonus. Like, what are we talking about? There's so many. And that's the problem. Like, if there was one, and everyone's like, yeah, like, Bear Weaving. When Bear Weaving first came out, I was like, this is cool. I love it. Then Lacerate Weaving, I was like, okay, yeah, I can get on board. And they're like, okay, but also, we're also going to be doing Albino Snake. Okay, and you know, if you want, you can get 2 of the same weapon and enchant them with different things, and when it procs and you switch, you get both bonuses. Okay. And then also, when you do a rip, you want to use this idol, and then when you do shred, you want to switch back to this one. But if you're in bear form, you really should put the mangle idol on so you get the increased agi when you shift back. There's gotta be a line.
Timer's gonna reset. And you're losing out on white damage. And
you didn't pop Treants?
Yeah, you didn't pre-pop Treants before the pool.
I'm at a point where I don't feel that I have my core rotations fully nailed down yet. Any of the try-hard stuff is too much diminishing return for me. See, I have the regular rotation down. I can do it blind. Bear Weaving, Lacerate Weaving I had down for a while, but I kind of abandoned it to try Flower Shifting. I did the Albino Snake thing. The Albino Snake thing, I will tell you, it absolutely doesn't affect anything. And if you do the Weak Aura, it's whatever. So whatever. But like, it still is like, you're like, oh. Treants is the line for me. Having to make an entire second gear set is awful. Hey man,
yeah,
Ryoki, I'm gonna go up to the top. I'm gonna go, wait, hold on. Where's that? I'm always hungry. Are you paying attention to something? No, that's not what you said. Different rates at different people. No, you said something where you're like, there is no limit. I could have swore that was you, but either way. I saw the flashback last night. Yeah.
Valnir Prio is for feral druids so that they can snapshot their treants pre-pool. You heard it here first.
Oh, that actually, hold on. I do want to talk about that because Valnir did come up in the thing. Did you hear what he said?
I don't know. It's not ringing a bell. What did they say?
So someone asked, hey, Valnir is now considered BIS for enhanced shamans. And he straight up says, no, it will not be that way. We will change it so that it doesn't benefit enhancement shamans.
Yeah, because there was something
nuts. Because the boost, the item level boost,
the melee boost, the weapon damage boost, not like the stats on it, but the actual melee damage.
Just the weapon damage. Yeah, I think that's so funny. Why? Hey, listen, if you have a good raid comp, everyone knows it's going to the Holy Paladin. Stop it. Balance druids.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show tonight. I'll see you next week.
If you're giving it to your enhanced shamans or your boomkins, who cares then? Like, let them have it. Yeah, when you swap tree, it disappears. Did they fix it?
It's still 30k damage, dude. 2 treants, 30k. If you have Valnir.
Okay. Do you guys know what Go's argument is for why it's prio to a boomy? Do you want to show him the picture?
Oh yeah, dude, show the picture.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
It's a factual picture on why boomies get Valnir Prio.
I forgot. I don't know how to spell Valinir.
It holds true.
Can someone type it?
VAL'N. I don't remember the rest.
I got close enough.
ANRY.
Okay.
I don't know.
You guys ready for this? You guys ready for this? This is the reason. Let me turn this over so I can swap.
Can I get a squawk when it comes up on the screen?
Yeah, sure. So this is the reason why. Because when you look up Valinir in Wowhead, the picture is a boomkin. That is his argument. He's like, look, there's clearly a picture of a boomkin from 2010. That was canon. Wrath was over in 2010. This guy posts a picture and goes like, well, there you go. It's clearly Biss. Look at the picture.
Why would it be on Wowhead if it wasn't 100% like what's supposed to be in game?
I just look up a chat. I got Sebastian. Restocat Prio.
Restocat, dude.
Yeah. Jesus.
You can pre-pop your treants, and you can Restocat after you've popped your treants and swapped specs to your Restocat spec.
This should be the first picture. It's a blood elf, but it's a paladin wielding it, which makes the most sense. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules, guys. This is a healing weapon, and it's clearly made for a paladin over any other class.
It has a healing proc, but it's not a healing weapon.
I can't with you.
I will die on that mountain.
I think it's hilarious.
I will hike to the top of that mountain and die on it.
Yeah. And you know what? When you do that hike, you know what won't be in your hand? Valinir.
Because it'll be at the top, and I will hold it up gloriously. And
whatever you gotta tell yourself to feel better. Okay. Man, my head hurt from laughing so hard. Did you ever get that? Like the pain, like from laughing, your skull hurts? Maybe that's just me and I have some sort of undiagnosed problem. Did you see what Table Slim said?
Yeah, it's a prot pally. I mean, who else goes paladin that's a blood elf unless they're prot?
Right? I mean, what are you doing? Oh my god. It's just statted perfectly for them. So, okay. So there's... Hold on, let me pull it back up. Do I have it? I closed it. Second. And I know you're gonna... First of all, you guys don't know this. I'm not a healer. I don't heal anymore. I used to heal back in original Wrath. Do I have it? It's on the screen. Sorry, guys. I'm not good at this. Okay.
I've heard conflicting things about the proc itself. So I'm not convinced it's really that great until we see how it actually interacts on the PTR and when it goes live.
Okay. Okay. Like a crit Holy Elliot would be a huge shield. 100%. On top of that, Resto Druids don't benefit from this as much because first of all, you're doing hot healing and like, this is gonna not be great. You're gonna get like a baby heal. I don't know. I think they did testing. It doesn't work really well for Resto. I think they're the lowest prior for it. You could argue for Shaman, but the same thing. Like they're usually using chain heal, and it's not gonna have that big thing. The only class that currently, except for Holy Priests, which aren't really popular because most priests go disc, the only healer that does direct big heals are Paladins, and they are the biggest healers in the game in many different aspects. That buff, huge.
But how huge is it? It's 15%, and it can't get overridden by another shield. So you have to cast your heal, and then it has to absorb some damage after it's been healed to reapply another shield.
That's a great question.
And it's only 15 seconds.
Of all the players in the game, like of a 25-man, who's likely to take damage? I mean, cats, obviously, because they pull threat. But I think you'd have to put tank at the top of the list. And who is the tank healer? In every scenario. In every single scenario, who is your tank healer? Your Boomkin. The answer is your Boomkin. I don't even know why we're discussing this. Everyone knows it's a holy paladin weapon. Whatever.
So it has an internal cooldown. What if it procs during the non like difficult damage phase that the tank is gonna get. So you're just gonna be overhealing with it. Like,
You're right.
what?
But what does it matter?
Yeah, if you're gonna overheal, like, give it to a DPS class, so the fight is shorter in fight length. You have to do less healing overall.
Hold on. I am going to, for you, I'm going to make a new poll and not spell Valinir right. Valinir is Ryo for
Oh yeah, what 5 options are you gonna put?
Holy
I think
Paladin.
this one needs 5.
Don't worry, I'm going to have Restocat in here. Holy Paladin.
Oh, rest okay.
Our Resto Shami. Holy Priest, which is probably the second argument, but nobody runs a Holy Priest. I'm not trying to skew the results. Boomkin.
Can you add like a wink
There's
emoji
only
in there?
You can only have 4 choices. All right, put Boomkin at the bottom though.
But the wink, put the winky face for the boomkin. Like, give me a little emoji.
All right, guys.
Oh,
I couldn't
just
fit
in
Resto
okay.
Cat, Sebastian. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, that's so troll.
All right, so I made a mistake when I made the video I did yesterday because it hasn't been completely updated eye level wise. So it was only 10 spell power more and only 0.17% crit more and only 0.82% haste more than like second Biss. But it's gonna get boosted. Those numbers are gonna go up. It's going to get us closer and faster to our crit soft cap. It's going to add more spell power. It's going to be insane.
4 people have voted for Boomkin on this. This is...
Oh, wait, what? Dang.
This is so stupid.
I mean, you said you weren't going to skew it, so I mean...
I think you're skewed. I think, okay, of the list out here,
I didn't do anything. I did not. I didn't post in my Discord, hey, go take this poll.
Of the 4 people, of the 4 classes, only one of them is a druid and a druid stream. Of course they're going to pick the druid. But everybody knows the Holy Paladin. Whatever. I don't know why I'm fighting with you. I know you know I'm right. I'm just...
No,
Yeah, it's a sampling bias.
This is one of those things where it's like you're looking at how it can be the most beneficial if used entirely properly with the exact raid comp. Like, but it's with all the DPS things. Like, I'm balanced druid is like 7th or 8th in DPS. You look at my raid. I'm top 1 or 2 on every boss fight. I'm top 1 or 2 on overall damage. Like, it's hard.
What's the DPS loss?
On that.
What's the DPS loss to use something other than this?
What's the healing per second gain by giving this? Hold on. By giving this to a paladin that isn't, you can't use healing parses, but that a holy paladin that's not healing properly, compared to giving it to a DPS that is DPSing properly. Where do you draw the line there?
Okay.
Where it shifts from giving it to the healer to the DPS instead? Where's that line at?
If your Holy Paladin sucks, replace him and give it to the new Holy Paladin that doesn't suck.
All right, hold on.
Your solution is, hey, our Holy Paladin sucks. Instead, just give me Malinar. No, don't fix the problem. Just give me Malinar. That's your argument.
This isn't my situation, but what if the Holy Pally is the raid lead's girlfriend?
Then,
you can't replace him.
Hey, cool. You know what's really fun? You should try out Ret Paladin. It's so good DPS. So good. And you know what? Don't worry about your Holy. We've actually got someone waiting to be a Holy Paladin, and they suck at Ret Paladin. And I can tell you're going to be a great Ret Paladin. Yeah.
Yeah, right, if your raid clears the content, then
that's fair, Sebastian. I actually agree with what Sebastian said.
Oh, let me see. It should go to the guild's most dedicated healer.
Because I really have a hard time giving this to a druid. I'm a druid. Resto druids just won't benefit from this.
That's
Like
what
they'll
I've heard.
benefit from the spell power. Shaman probably are third. It's gonna be Holy Paladin, Priest, Shaman, Resto Druid, and then Boomkin. Okay, I'll put you fifth.
I just thought of another one because Echo's comment legit. Oh yeah, the line is where the raid dying. No, give it to the DPS. So it takes how many weeks to even get this? It takes 4 to 5 weeks. So you're clearing the content for 4 to 5 weeks. You're already downing the bosses, and you still want to give it to a healer, but you're already clearing everything.
Yeah,
So
phase 3.
You for phase 3 to have a faster progression in phase 3 instead of having
Not
a
a
4-hour.
faster, a smoother progression. Because your healer can keep your tank alive with extra bubbles. No way in hell would a priest get it. I think a holy priest would. I don't think a disc priest would ever take this. I don't think they would willingly take this. It's garbage to them. I don't know, man. I think Resto Druids are great. I think they're one of the most underrated healers in the game. I still don't think this weapon is made for them.
If whoever gets prioed this in the raid ever dies themselves, I am never giving them an innervate. I'm never battle resing them. They're gonna stay dead on the floor.
They don't need innervate.
If another druid reses them, they're not getting my innervate. They're gonna stay out of mana. They're not gonna be able to utilize this ability. No, they're staying on the ground.
Sebastian, it has a 45-second proc cooldown.
For 15 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're gonna get.
So the rest of
procs a
druid
fight.
would get it on one person every 45 seconds.
They'll get it on the pool because that's how procs work, and then they'll get it 50 seconds into the
Yeah,
fight.
that's just how procs work. Do you know that they swap that DK swap trinkets purposely before a fight to prevent an instant proc rate? That's so crazy.
Druids do it too. Yeah,
Oh, do they?
Druids
I didn't know
have
that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, for illustration of the Dragon Soul.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but dude, so another thing since we're on Valnir is I've heard that not only do you prio the healer, the Holy Pally Valnir, but you prio them another weapon that's a stat stick instead. So once they get the proc, they swap to a different weapon and have a stat stick to continue over healing because the healing's not going to be necessary.
Hold on, didn't Wowhead say they updated their items to the correct ones? Oh yeah, 258. But didn't this be like the 260s? Whatever. I can think about it now.
Can we go over the poll results real quick? You can't just end the poll and not talk about.
Oh no, boom. It's skewed. It doesn't matter. It's so stupid. I think it's hilarious that Boomkins are just like, yep, give it to us. But in reality, you're not gonna take it. You know you.
Dude, I'm on the edge. It depends on how big of a benefit it is. I'm still up in the air on it. It's been back and forth, man.
I would say fourth. Because most people run 2 Holy Paladins. You go Holy Paladin, maybe Resto Shaman, and then you'd go to your DPS where your Boomkin would probably be up on the list because other classes don't want it.
Alright, so I'd like to hear your take. I brought this up on the Warcraft Reloaded podcast a couple weeks ago, and everybody was against me. And I think Scotty J was on that podcast episode. And I was like, how do you guys feel about increasing the accessibility to get Valmir? Should the shards that drop because you need 30, should that have an increased drop rate? Should it only take 20 instead of 30? Do you think it should still be hard to get? Because in TBC, we didn't get a main hand glaive, we didn't get an offhand glaive. It just, the numbers didn't work out for us to even get one of those legendaries. And that felt bad. So, should this get buffed to where we know that we're going to get one? Or should it stay the same? What do you think?
I think it's hard to compare Glaives versus Valinor. I think the better comparison would be Atiash. And I think most guilds got one Atiash at least because the shard was already decent. Now, if they increase it, I don't know. It would devalue it because you'd have like
Yeah.
every single healer have one. I think if they made it a guaranteed drop for a specific amount, so you can calculate, hey, it's going to take. I think that wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I don't think. I think you have to keep legendaries legendary. And if you, I mean, look at, they even screwed up, in my opinion, I think they screwed up Thunder, oh my god, I can't think of it.
Fury.
Thunder Fury. Yeah, literally everyone had though. We had like 5 in our guild. And I was
See,
like, this is stupid. We were running MC though, all the way to like phase 4, phase 5. So like it does make, I think it's interesting because if you do increase it, it makes Alduar less beneficial. Whereas if you keep it as is, and with this item level increase, Alduar is going to stay relevant much longer, and you're going to see more and more Belinars than you did in the original. Like maybe what 2, 3, 4. Now you're going to see 5, 6 probably because you're going to be running Alduar at the same time you're running Trial of the Crusader anyway. So that's extending it by double. And yeah, you're going to go through all your healers, and your ults are going to try to steal it from you, and you're going to be like, no. And that's going to be your real competition is your raid leader's ult. That's reality. Triggered. I'm not triggered. I'm not triggered. Did he call me triggered? He say
Yeah, I think it was
triggered?
you. I'm pretty sure it was you. It
No,
wasn't
I mean,
me because I wasn't. Obviously, I wasn't.
Oh, because of Thunder Fury. No, I don't care. We had my guild had like 1 billion warriors. It was more about like I like the idea of a legendary having a status, and I think that's something that disappeared in later WoW, where like look at Ashes. Ashes is a good example. Like when you see someone with Ashes, you're like nice because it's rare and it's really cool and you want it. But when you saw someone with Thunder Fury, the first month, the first 2 phases, you're like, or well, it had to be at least the second or third phase. You're like, oh, cool. But by AQ, you're like, yeah, okay, whatever. Everyone's got one now. Congratulations, Whereas Atiash, I mean, you only saw 1 or 2, and whoever got it was usually the raid leader or the GM or both. And that sucks because druids were never getting it. Like the one druid that got it was the GM, Oh, you're triggered. Okay. Had 10 bars, saw 2 bindings drop, and then went to 2 other tank warriors over me with opposite bindings from each other. Never saw another binding. Oh, that sucks. You play Feral, you can't get triggered. You get triggered. Wait, what? Look at it. You get triggered. Oh, because you're a Feral. I get it now, Smash.
Nice.
Y'all, of course. Y'all has everything. He has Ashes table. He flies Ashes everywhere. Rubs it in our faces. He's won. I think he won the Blue Drake in what do you call it? I think he has the OS one. No, not that. Well, we did get the Malagos one drop. I don't remember who won it though. But he has like every single thing. Like he's lucky. He's a lucky guy.
All right. So what do you think about this one? So you're saying like you might see 2 to 5 Falconers per guild.
Exactly.
I was on a smaller server than Westfall, which is where you're at, and it had like a 2K pop, pretty small, and the Thunder Fury, it was really weird. Like some guilds didn't even have a Thunder Fury for a long time. Like it was AQ, like almost Nax until they got their first Thunder Fury, and other guilds had like 2 or 3 by then, because they ran it every week.
Like
And the same thing with Atiash.
Yeah, but
it was like
is more guaranteed in my opinion, right? Because like you're not waiting for a single drop. You have a high chance of getting a shard. They're not called shards. What are they called?
fragments.
I don't remember. Yeah. So like you have a higher chance of getting that one of them per boss. And so like you do 13 bosses, however they have, and you get like 6 or 7, even though you didn't get the max you could have gotten, you didn't walk out with nothing. And if you keep going back, splinters, thank you. If you keep going back, you'll eventually get the amount. Whereas, Table said, like you can MC, people go into Thunder Fury, even though, like I said, our guild had like 1 billion. they'd go in and it was literally like, let's kill Baron, and you're like, and that was it. And everyone was depressed. And whereas with Atiash, you run it week, we only got 6. Oh, we got 8. Oh, we got 10. Cool, 10. And it was never disappointing because you always got some. And then you knew Atiash was an eventuality. Whereas you didn't know, even the Glaives, you know the Glaives are eventuality. We'll run it 30 times, we'll eventually know. Atiash and Valinir are a guaranteed thing that will eventually happen. And yes, you can increase it, but you run the risk of losing the value of it. And again, I think because of the Alduar changes of boosting the eye level, you're going to see people running Alduar much longer than they did in the original Wrath. Because, especially the hard modes, they become relevant for, 2 phases instead of just one small phase.
All right. Yep. No. Well, all right. Picking the mic back up because you dropped it. Let me. Dude, you held that really well, by the way. You were still as hell. So something my guild has been experiencing is losing people the last 3 weeks from being bored of the content, because a month and a half, 2 months of Nax is just too long. So are you expecting guilds to continue to hold their full roster for 4, 5, 6 months of Ulduar and still clear these and give all these fragments, these shards to the right prio players, and still go back to this after it's been the only raid that's been available for 5 months?
I think, because you are adding an extra complexity to it. So our guild has, I think, cycled 5 people since the beginning of Nax, which doesn't sound like a lot, but we're pretty set. We have a set group. That being said, I know people are rotating more or losing more at a higher rate. I think that if your raid leader is not let me press my chicken button. And they know you want that, they'll make sure that, because I think it was Sebastian said it, prio it to the most dedicated player. Yes, the most dedicated healer first, but if your Boomkin wants it and your 5th Holy Paladin wants it, maybe you're okay, well, because I'll tell you something that happened that really upset me. Was it Glaives? We got Glaives on our main rogue. He got it first, a rogue. And the day he got the pair, he took a 2-week break. I think it was already planned, but it was a joke, oh yeah, you get the Glaives. And he did come back and he was fine. And then, but the next one went to a warrior, and we gave it to one of the 2 warriors we had, I think. And then he did disappear. And the other warrior was I'm here, and I didn't get it. And then we had another rogue come, and they were oh, do we prio it to the rogue? And you're you just started, give it. But I do agree that your raid leaders have to be, and your GMs and everyone have to be conscientious of, yes, gear, giving gear to the right class matters, but also giving gear to the people that deserve. I'll give you an example. Remember I told you today that yesterday, that tier piece dropped, and I really wanted it. And they didn't just give it to the Boomy, which they could have done. They reached out to me and said, listen, they haven't got anything, it should be prior to you. Can we give it to her? And I said, yeah. I eventually said, yeah. But I think that is a better solution than me rage quitting in my head after watching them give it to a Boomy, even though I knew I was next prio. I think that comes down to good raid leading, good management. Hey, we know you're up. She hasn't got any loot in a while. We want to disperse as equally. You've had a lot of pieces lately. Do you mind? Yeah, that's fine. As opposed to me seeing the thing come on the screen, Boomy was given for, and you're because I don't know how you are when you don't get loot you want, but mine is and then immediately open the logs and start
oh no,
the
logs.
Yeah, but that's the reality. but because the raid leader reached out to me and said, "Hey, here's what's going on. Is that cool?" I was like, you know what? It is. I didn't get mad. I was like, it is what it is. And I think it's the same thing with stuff like that. Like if your raid leader, if you're getting loot randomly and you're like, why did they just get that? And there isn't like a clear transparency of like, hey, this is why we gave it to this person. Then yeah, you'll either quit or like you'll hate raiding. Sorry, this is a long rant. I apologize.
I don't even know where this branched off of, so we can switch away.
Okay. Anyway, Valenier. Holy cow.
Oh my! We can't switch now. No. I've got 10 more minutes.
Herald of the Titans achievement. We kind of mentioned this already. Elgalon health and damage will increase to keep the challenge of the original achievement the same. Okay. Alduar. Ready to talk Alduar? Even though we kind of talked about it?
Wait. Real quick.
Yeah.
What was that achievement you just said?
Herald of the Titans?
So Herald of the Titans, I heard that there was a website. I think it was from a Scotty J video.
OnlyFans?
Yeah, and it was like a website that had a set for everybody per spec that was like their BIS to get that achievement. So
Really?
there could be a website out there in a couple of months that has a set that's your BIS. I don't know if I would make a set for that. Like, make a video on it. Maybe would you be interested in making a video of going over a best in slot feral set for that?
Can you see this? Okay, so this is Herald of the Titans is an achievement which unlocks the Herald of the Titans. It is obtained by killing an Elgalon from Alduar in 10 man with no one in the raid wearing gear eye level above 226 or 232 for weapon and offhand. This gear restriction means that normal best in slot for Wrath of the Lich King content cannot be used. Keep reading for the modified best in slot list of Herald of the Titans. This is nuts.
Yeah, there's a website for it. So, I mean, I would assume that website's going to get updated for the current item levels.
You want to see something crazy? There's no druid on here. That hurts my heart.
Unbelievable.
Is there one up here? Maybe it's just I have to click on it. Okay, druid balance. I'm gonna look at the PvE balance DPS for. Okay, there is one. It just wasn't on the main page. I don't know why.
Okay.
So sanctified lasher weave cover. What? Isn't that from? Where's that from? I know I've heard of that. This can't be right.
That looks like a retail thing because it's got like no stats.
Lightbringer's stained pants, heroic, and it's got the heroic thing, which is only available in later phases, and the item level is 277. Which...
Maybe the source that they pulled that from changed, and it updated with like retail items instead of.
I bet that's what happened. Items. That'd be worth looking into, though. That's actually a really good idea for a build. Like, hey, here's how you get the achievement. I definitely think that'd be a fun one. But yeah, like I think that's a good idea. For that one achievement, you have to use. And the thing is, we don't even know what the item level is right now because they should slightly modify it to account for the boost, right? The hard mode boost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That'll be interesting. Okay. Now let me switch back. I'm getting really good at this transition thing, by the way. I don't know if you've been paying attention. Okay.
It's been covered up.
Achievement sets. Yeah. That's a really good idea. I think that's one of the only achievements. But if they do the thing we were talking about for the Nax Immortal,
yeah, mm-hmm.
It would be another set you'd have to build for the same reason. Druids have a 10 plus gear set with Wrath Ends. 10 plus gear sets, probably. Okay, Alduar, you ready? Alduar is coming on PTR in roughly 1 to 2 weeks. So we're going to start seeing Alduar gear being tested. Hopefully we'll actually allow our characters to be copied over. If they give us template Nax gear or something, I'm going to be so angry.
I heard that they were going to open copy. Yeah, I heard they were going to open copies. And I heard it's going to be more than 2 weeks. Not like 1 week. I don't think we should expect it during the end of November.
He said a week or two.
December.
He said a week or two.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think it was
it is
further clarified. Yeah.
it's Thanksgiving weekend. If you guys don't know, in the U.S., most people are going to have tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So chances are nothing's going to get done for those couple days. Okay, but they went through specifics. I don't know these fights well enough to know this, but I'm going to read through them.
Me neither. Yeah.
Okay, good. Vestix has more health and does more melee. I don't know what that means. Does that mean more health? And then they do more melee? And I'm just kidding. I know that one. Stormcaller runs faster. Motorcycles can't pick up blue canisters. Razor Scale can cast Flame Buffet, which apparently was removed later. Hodier has a 2-minute timer. And the Conjured Toaster Fire, it has a 10-second delay. And he went through a whole explanation on why he made that change. He didn't want it to be random, but didn't want it to be immediately on the start because it allows for some sort of cheating thing.
I kind of like those mechanics where it's not like, DBM has a countdown and it's like, okay, this mechanic's going to happen.
That's what it's going to be, though. It's exactly what it's going to be.
In 10 seconds. But I like it where it's like, okay, the timer has expired and now we've got a 15-second window where at some point we know it's going to proc, but we don't know exactly when it's going to happen. I like that style of mechanic better.
I actually do too. Okay. I do too. For my raid, I hate it. Like we were running Obsidian Sanctum last night. We were trying to do the Zerg strat, and people kept dying to the dumbest stuff. Like, get out of the void zone. What? Never heard that. What? Like, oh, flame wall, move to the other side. Where? It's
You
not
just had
a new
15
strat.
second timer.
Look at
that
the
said
wall.
when it was gonna proc. Yeah,
And they still-
after it procced. Yeah,
They don't care.
I know.
And so like that's the thing. Like I love when like you have to, especially in the melee. I think melee can appreciate this. When you have to react to something that happens, it's more engaging. You're like, oh, I gotta move, I gotta get out of the way. But like when, honestly, I think when you have like those staggered cycles, it becomes so monotonous that you kind of space out sometimes anyway. Like, oh yeah, I gotta move. Loot
And
bans
one-
for stupid times.
One mechanic that I can think of that happens like on the timer is the Mexna, like the web spray.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it's time.
in
I like that.
In that instance, I do kind of like it because I know it's like, okay, I'm gonna get stunned, so I know I need to have both Insect Swarm and Moonfire rolling, so they're going through the stun.
See, but I think that's the inverse. That's the inverse idea, and that is the best time for a timer. When you have to take the timer and to improve your DPS, plan for it. But you're not gonna die. You're not gonna die from a timer. Well, your tank might, but as a DPS, you're not gonna die if you're not paying attention to that timer. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing your thing and you get web wrapped. So what? Your DPS sucks, but you're not gonna die. But the voids circles on the blue things on the ground in Obsidian Sanctum, if you zone out, you die. Like, oh, I'm in the thing. Even though the little British lady's saying, watch your feet, watch your feet. Like and subscribe.
Oi, mate.
Oi. I really
Go England.
I'm gonna practice my British accent so much in the next week. But yeah, I do think that like you're right. When they have the timers are there for the good players to maximize their DPS. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get a Scotty J full soundbar. He's gonna love it. But yeah, I definitely think the timers have a thing, but I also like items that don't have timers. I like the randomness of like things. Okay, constructs apply debuff. Constructs apply debuff require running into water and can spread. So apparently in the Ignis trash, you get the constructs can all give you a debuff, and the only way to get rid of the debuff is to run it into the water, or I think it can be cleansed. I'm not sure. And it can spread if you go near other people. I think that little thing can actually add a lot of headache to that trash, which I think I like.
Fun.
Yeah, I think I like it.
I like it because to me it reminds me of Brutalis, where it's like you didn't want to spread the fire, the debuff. Like you couldn't run within 6 yards of somebody, or it's gonna spread the fire debuff.
Okay, yeah.
In Stunwell, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, this sounds kind of cool. It's like you could grief somebody. It's like, oh, you wanted me to decurse this week. You're my raid leader, and I'm right next to you. Let me just pass this off so you have to run into the water too.
Yeah. I think that's a cool thing though. Like I do think that like stuff like that is fun. The next one is XT Deconstructor, and there's a number in between. I don't know what it is. So they have a 10% damage per second debuff they put on people, and people wanted to know if it's supposed to last 12 seconds because apparently, according to data binding, it is, which means it does 120% of your health. And they said yes, it's supposed to be something that it will kill you if you don't get healed.
And that sounded like that was maybe only like for 1 or 2 weeks, and then it got patched. And
sounds like a lot of that.
That's the vibe I
stuff.
got from that one.
So he said, so they had just kind of like this back and forth discussion, but they said like, is this going to feel completely brand new? And he's like, no, this is all changes. But then he later said that each boss's changes may not have ever been active at the same time as they were patching. So like this change I'm making, you may have never even experienced because we removed it. And I think the original question, yes, it's going to feel completely different because there's so many changes. But yeah, Guardian of Yogg will dominate mind. I guess this is castable. This is on Yogg's. It's the Cloud dudes.
Interruptible.
Yeah, they're interruptible. And then Immortal Guardian's drain life frequency went from 20 seconds down to 10 seconds. So that's even more of a thing you have to deal with, which I think is great. The human male aggro noise for GTFO sounds like the ha. Did I do it right? Ha. Sounds like the noise you make when you want someone to tell you if you have good breath. Like, how's your breath? Ha. No, nobody can relate to that? Alright, cool. Whatever.
Turn your head and cough. Ha.
Oh. You beat someone in chess? Oh. I don't know. Okay, sorry.
What's the sound you make when you're jousting for the daily in the Argent tournament?
Oh. Oh. Run stockades one time, you'll hear it a whole bunch. Okay. Oh, I do know what you're saying. Oh. Oh. You were just in stockades. I can hear it remembering from your thing. Okay. Immortal Guardians, I did that one. Okay, so I just put a note in here. I don't know if you read it.
Yeah.
I watched it like 6 times. So world first achievement, I don't know. I'm just gonna say that if you watch this and you're like, oh, I understand completely, they sounded like they contradicted themselves like 3 times. Like at one point they said that just killing the keepers was world first, and then they were talking about Algalon might be required, and then later they said something about also needing Yogg. So like, I don't know.
I don't know how it worked. I didn't even know how phase 1 was gonna work. With like everything was required. You needed to kill.
I literally did not know that until day of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Table. I know they're talking about Realm First. I don't know. They never were clear about what Realm First is. Like, what is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what's going to give you that achievement and that title that comes along with it?
I think the Elgalon clear is the best. Yeah, Elgalon. I agree. Is Elgalon a swear word? Or you just don't know how to spell it?
I know for phase 1 it was like you had to kill Sarth to get the quest item in order to unlock like Malagos, and then
it's like that
do Malagos. So it's all of this just inside of one instance instead of
you have to
multiple.
Okay, I don't get me wrong. I think it's been so long. I think in order to unlock Elgalon, you have to do a couple of these bosses in hard mode, or not all of them in hard mode. Don't hold me to this. So that means you can't just do it and be done. Because that's why people are like, oh, is it just to get to Yogg? Because that's the normal one. Yeah, so you need 4 bosses in hard mode. So in order to get to Elgalon, who has some of our best loot, sadly enough, you have to do 4 hard modes. Yeah, if you the 4 keepers on hard mode, and you have to do who's the guy who drops the key? Not drops the key, but has the key thing. Iron Council, because he's not required for Elgalon.
I don't know.
Anyway, the guy drops the key, then you do this, then you go back to him, unlock Elgalon, then you can go into Elgalon's room and kill him. I think that's it, and the reason I want that is because it'll be way more entertaining to watch than just a speed run right to Yogg-Saron. And I think Yogg 0 is required.
Yeah, they were going back and forth. Every time somebody else asked a question, they were like, "Oh yeah, that's how it's gonna work." And then somebody would be like, "Yeah," they were like, "Well, does this have to happen first?" Yeah, that has to happen first. Well, if that happens first, does this have? Yeah.
And
We're
then
gonna go with that one, I think.
I think they mentioned Iron Council too. Like, oh yeah. And you're like, well, who are you guys? Just like, oh, let's do this version. Like, make a decision. You're the people. Yeah, like, oh, it's heads. So I feel like World First should be all hard modes and all that. I like that table because the only people that care about World First are those like these hardcore people, and I like watching them. Like, I enjoy it. And if they're just doing like the cheese speed strats, I don't care that much. Like, cool, my guild does that. I want to see like hard mode. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna record that for
maximum
later.
content.
Hard mode. Wait, I'm gonna do it like a
There you go.
dubstep. Wait, I put the haw in there first. Hard mode. That's where that noise comes from. The haw. They're gonna say hard mode, but they get killed. Sorry,
But then you need another one. You need a easy mode.
Will you record that? I'll put that on my.
I'm not recording. You have to pull that from the mod.
The realm first title, but for world first, you have to do the boss. The both. Yeah. Okay. Okay. If you guys are not ready for Alduar pre-nerf, because that's what's coming, we're getting a pre-nerf version of Alduar. They did say that they are going to nerf it before TOGGC. So if you are if you were one of those guilds that weren't able to down Lady Vash, hard mode or not hard mode, but like Alduar is gonna be hard mode or not. So if you're kind of like, oh, that's gonna suck, don't worry. They've already said that they're going to nerf it to allow for more people to experience Alduar. So if you're in that boat. Yeah. Oh my, it's like blue. Sorry. Okay. Oh, will TOC and ICC be pre-nerf? This is one of the questions. They said they don't know. They said that, I think they said they haven't looked into the scope of the changes that were made during TOGC. What is it? What are the letters we're doing here? We agree on something?
I've heard it's just called TOC. So I guess
Tribe
TOC.
of the Crusader.
Yeah,
They just
so
drop the T.
of the is not.
But the raid
a
is
letter.
called Trial of the Grand Crusader.
Oh, but I guess O still is O.
TOTGC? Yeah.
Yeah, like whatever. Trial. Just
What about
trial.
Talk at ICC, they said they're going to look and see how many nerfs were made, and if there's enough of them, it sounds like they'll consider it pre-nerf. And then faction changes. If anybody's curious about faction changes in Phase 2, they said it is going to be coming in Phase 2, but they don't think it'll come out with Phase 2 launch. It'll probably come out later in Phase 2. And then for race changes, they said that'll be even later because it's even more complicated. And it sounds like they're not even promising Phase 2, just later. That's all.
I plan on faction changing, but not class changing. Like, who wants to change off of having a druid? But
No,
having
race
an
change.
alliance.
Did I say class change? Race change.
Yeah, I mean, you said both, right?
Faction change and race change. Those are the changes. So you can go from like warrior to
Yeah.
night elf, or or human warrior to night elf warrior, or reverse, or you can switch from horde to alliance. Which is weird that they say it's a harder to do race change, because when you go from horde to alliance, I don't know if you guys know this, but you have to actually change your race when you do that. So I don't know. Just kidding. I have no idea. I don't know how it works.
That's actually pretty good. That's kind of good.
Yeah.
Fair take.
I mean, whatever. Any news on when the fresh starts getting transfers to them? I'm wanting to know. They're not saying anything about that stuff, and I bet they're going to keep it pretty tight for a while.
I got a FK.
It's going to sit here and talk about Kansas City.
Kansas City. I did see the hat, and I was like, Kansas City.
I've been to Kansas City. I bought this hat there.
I have not.
I'm not from Kansas City. My initials are not Casey. I want to do a podcast with Go where we rewatch all of the episodes of Psych and then review them, similar to what Talkville is, except we're not Psych. I mean, I'd obviously be the Sean, and I'd be Gus. You would be Gus. Yeah.
Come on, son.
Come on, son. Who says that? I thought you're going. I thought you had to go
all
somewhere.
of them. I gotta pee.
Ed Lover. Don't Ed Lover me. If anybody knows what Psych is or watches it, let me know because we both found out we're into psych because
We're into so many
we
like
quote each
common
other.
things. It's
Yeah,
crazy how many things we
bowling,
like.
psych, hiking. What else?
World of Warcraft?
Oh, I forgot about that one. Oh yeah.
That thing. Oh, but are you gonna? I'll leave you this question to answer. Are you ever gonna play a horde? Would you would you faction change from alliance to horde on any of your tunes if that was an option?
That's a great question. So if you guys don't know, I'm on a server called Westfall, and it is 99.9% alliance. So as much as I want a faction change, there's no faction to change to. So I'd have to server transfer first, which is something I might want to do, just because it would be fun to play with people that also stream and do YouTube videos, and there's very few people on Westfall that do that. I think there's like one other guy, and we don't really like hang out or anything. So that would be the only reason. And if you guys don't know, my original character in WoW when I played it originally was a druid. I've played a druid since the start of WoW, and he is a Tauren. And like literally, I don't know if I can pull it up. I don't know how it would work. Let's see if I can. I haven't logged in. I don't know if it's what's gonna happen, but like I literally had a Tauren druid since the very beginning, and yeah, I miss it. Brown beef. No, his name is Grifton. I really am not original. I came up with this name and I'm very proud of it. Did that change it? Let's see if I can. Oh, let's see. I think I can switch. Oh man, I have to accept. Okay. I need to do studio modes. You guys don't get it. Game capture. No. Okay. This, I'm now on Malagos. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. This is my original. These are all my original characters. I have Grifton and Loki. I've had them since forever. I haven't played Grifton since Shadowlands came out. That's why he's wearing like old, whatever, Zandalari gear because I didn't even finish gearing him up. I have a paladin. This is my other one. This is the I've played the characters, and this is not like my only server that I'm on. I used to be on Fenris. I'm originally from Velen. This is my original server from way back in the day. I played on Fenris with my buddy for a long time. So yeah, like I've been playing for a long time. But my original character, this is my legit first character I ever created, was a Tauren druid named Grifton.
Wait, can I get the
TLDR? That's where my rogue one card. What's that?
Can I get the
TLDR? Yeah, sure.
For faction change?
If I faction change, I couldn't do it on Westfall because there's no Horde faction. So I have to server transfer first, and if I did, it would be to a server where there's other streamers / YouTubers that I could do stuff with, and that would be the only reason. But right now, I am not doing that. And then I said that I actually like Horde because my original tune, which is what I'm showing on the screen now, is from Horde, and he's my literally first character I ever created. My second, this is Loki. He was actually originally called Loki, Loki. Actually, no, strike that. His original name was Red Maiden. It was a female blood elf. And this is actually a funny story. Let me switch back to us because you don't really see my character screen anymore. Okay. Okay. Sorry. When I first created, so I created Grifton and loved it, played the game. I was like all about it. But then my friend's like, oh, you gotta try a mage. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll create a mage. And I was like, and Burning Crusade just came out, so I created a blood elf mage, and I created a girl because I was like, you know, it'd be cool to have a girl because like I was very into RP mindset, like like a fire mage named, and her name was Red Maiden. I played her all the time, leveled her so fast, and people were so nice to me. And what I didn't realize is the reason they were nice to me is because they thought I was a chick. And it wasn't that big of a deal when I was leveling, but once I hit, I think it was 70, yeah, this is Burning Crusade. When I hit 70, I started getting like creepily hit on all the time. Like not like hey, cool, are you a real girl? Or like, that's whatever. I get that too. People be like, oh, hey, hi, you want to go into the place and dirty thing here? And at first it was like, haha, that's funny. But I got really uncomfortable really fast because it just never stopped. And I can't relate to women, but I get it. Like, I get it a little bit. I get it. So, it was the first time I ever did a character change, and it was to change it from a girl to a boy, and I renamed it Loki, Loki. And then when I server transferred it, Loki was taken, so I named it Loki with a little thing. Mount for a mount.
I've
Exactly.
never had that problem. I've always made like a female too.
I don't think it's that big of
I've
a
never
deal
had that.
anymore. I think early Burning Crusade. That's when it happened. Burning Crusade. I mean, I was younger. Like it was a lot more like kids. Now I feel like, especially Wrath Classic, it's a lot more adults. Like a lot of adults play. Yeah, and that so I have since then. I don't think I've created. The only time I ever create females is if I create female Taurens. People won't hit on you for some reason if you're a female Tauren.
That's also true. That I found out. Yeah.
But yes, so
Can
I would.
confirm.
I'm not against it. Long story short, fail. All right, hold on. I'm gonna make sure my list is done so we can just randomly from it. Oh, let's talk about our PTR. We actually didn't talk about it. What'd you think? Table, you can chime in too because you were there, and so can you, Nest. I think you were there. I don't know.
The whole like creating a tune from scratch kind of like sucks. But I feel like since we had our little like group of friends, we had like a 4-man core group. I think
Yeah,
that
we
really
picked up some random person every time.
that really helped us, I think, get through these dungeons pretty clean. Because I've heard not horror stories, but I've heard rumors and stuff from other people, boomies specifically, that were like, dude, like I couldn't clear a heroic with a pug group.
Yeah,
So I'm glad that we were all together. Like that might be my first like streamer benefit, like clearing content, you know?
yeah. I think, man, I think the PTR was fun. Like, full stop. I had a good time.
Yeah.
The character creation thing sucked on so many levels too. Not even just like, oh, you create a character. Oh, you got to get your add-ons working. Oh, you have to get all your gear set up. Oh, you have to get it enchanted, and you have to find it in that stupid thing that's
Yeah.
like 40 pages long.
It
Oh,
shows you +8 in or
it's just
plus
gonna
8
say,
stats
I was
first.
literally just gonna say that. You grab your link for
Yeah.
the plus stats. You're like, oh, but this is the +8 one. Okay, I'll keep going. So no. That
8
being
pages
said,
later, you see +10.
yeah, like I think Nest created a prop alley, and he legit were like, yeah, come on. And he's like, I'll be there in a minute. And we're like, come on. And he's like, because like you have to set up, and that was the worst part. As far as the gameplay, I did have a good time, and I think it was because I was playing with people and we were joking around and having fun, and there wasn't any pressure to like, oh, we wiped. Like if you weren't watching earlier ago, I wiped a ton. Like every UKUP we wiped like 4 times, and then we had this in my group. We had this mage. If you didn't watch it,
I saw, yeah.
I was like, bro, okay. We had wiped 3 times. We lost somebody, and we brought someone in. And the guy was like, hey, how is it? He's like, super easy. And I was like, bro, we're on our 3rd wipe. What are you basing this on? Like, what is your like gut telling you? Like, oh yeah, super easy. We keep dying. It's not super. And maybe it was my fault. I don't know. But then like, I died early as tank, and then oh, you couldn't respec. I forgot about that. You couldn't get your second spec either. Oh god. But yeah, he was like, it's so easy. Every time we brought someone new in, I was like, it's so easy. Like, why do we have to keep replacing people then? Like, gee.
Yeah. It was like, imagine setting up your whole tune. You have all your gear, you've got your enchants, you got your gems, and then you go to spec and you messed up a talent point. And it's like, oh, dude, I really needed that. And then it's like, oh, yeah, you can't respec. Oh, no. Then you have to remake everything. You have to put your binds back on the bar. Yeah.
Dude, no, you want to know what the worst part, though, was? So, like, if I could pick anything from the PTR that was just absolutely, like, the worst, I was running with this boomkin who would not get the Typhoon glyph and was just throwing things everywhere.
Wait, were they knocking mobs out of the Death and Decay?
No,
in...
no.
back there
They
on
had
keep, so
no
they weren't
control.
getting
On top of
heals.
that, they had the worst DPS of the. They were below the healer. I don't want to assume it was a guy. I don't want to assume. Could have been a girl. But their
Probably
DPS was
was. Probably was.
below our healer.
If the DPS was bad, it was probably a girl. You said it, not me. Oh man, but yeah, that mage was like, for those that don't know, that mage was the player that's just like they're the one that's pulling. They're not the tank, but they're pulling the packs.
Yeah.
And
Like
it's
know,
like,
if you watch it, you know their vibe. Like you immediately like I know that guy. I know that guy.
yeah, because like the tank usually, like if it's a good tank, the tank, yeah, the tank knows like when to pull the next pack. They're looking at the healer's mana. They're not just looking at their own, and they're like, okay, everybody's ready for this next pack. Let me go and pull them. But no, the mage was just like, oh, healer's at 5% mana. I don't care. I'm
I
gonna
don't
pull
care.
him, and I'm just gonna kite this pack of mobs using Dragon's Breath. Like,
Yeah.
dude, that's not how
And
you clear a dungeon.
just saying over and over again, this is so easy. This is so easy, bro. You're a DPS. You play the easiest role of the three roles. Like, I think that's something, and I'm not taking shots at DPS because DPS, but like, if you ask people, hey, was this hard? I don't think the DPS has the right to speak for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, they can have their opinion. They can be like, actually, I think it's pretty easy for DPS. But they can't be like, oh yeah, this is easy. It's like, bro, you're not tanking, you're not healing. You have a very small skew idea of what's going on right now. Hopium? What's hopium?
That was the healer, the priest. That was their name.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I
Hopium was a
hopped
real
on.
one. Yeah.
I don't know if I would say I got burnt out, but after doing only like 3 heroics, I was like, okay, like, I would not want to do a full world tour with those mechanics, especially
No.
knowing that 3 of them have the mirror image mechanic in them. Like, the only like what I got from that is I'm so glad they added 3 extra emblems of conquest to the daily heroic.
Yeah.
If they didn't add that, I don't know how much I would actually run them,
I
even
will.
on like an alt.
I'll add on top of that. So like running the world. Why am I blanking what it's called? World tour. Running the world tour right now in like regular sucks. Like it's fine for the first like 4 or 5, but then you're getting halfway and you're like, this is boring. Like let's just get through it. And then by like the 10th one, you're like, okay, come on, hurry up. Okay, we gotta do A. And okay, great. Why do you need a summon? We're all together. What? Like, you get just like a little irritated in your group. I cannot imagine how I'd feel at the end of a World Tour Heroic Plus, where like you wiped because someone was like, "Oh, sorry, I went to grab something to drink really quick," and didn't realize that they would continue to apply that debuff to me when I'm not close to you guys. Like I get to see like all the problems. I would love to do the Heroic Plus daily. I think that'd be fun, and maybe even like a bonus one to like farm like a BOE or something. No world tours, and I think I'd be very choosy too. It'd become one of those points where you're like, I'm not running Oculus. You know how like you don't run Oculus now because you're like, no, we're not doing it. I think there's gonna be a larger list. Like, I'm not doing cover the time. It's just not fun. I don't like dealing with that stupid thing or whatever. Yeah. Oh, but anyway, jump back up, Sebastian. If you didn't leave yet, thanks, man. Take care. Appreciate you. You're a great guy.
See you, Sebastian.
Resto cat for life. Sorry. Okay. Progression healing is the best. I think it is. Progression healing is actually fun. I think this will be the most fun for healers. I think healers will have a blast in Heroic Pluses. And we're not representing them, so X in chat for all the holy pallies who will have an even harder time getting normal COS trinket. Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, I had fun because I was with you guys. Otherwise, I would probably stop mid-dungeon. Really? Did you not like it at all then? We have to wait for the delay.
Yeah, like how often is that going to happen? You're going to get a group, you're going to convince somebody that didn't want to click the thing to make it into the defense protocol alpha phase, and then they finally clicked it, and then you get 2-3 trash packs in, you clear the first boss even.
Sure.
So now you're stuck to the instance like lockout, and then somebody's like, oh no, yeah, this isn't for me, and then they leave, and then like you can't replace them.
It's gonna be pretty common actually. And I think what table slam makes a thing too. We were in voice, so we were able to like watch out, move, get out of the way. Like if you're having to like hold a pug's hand through some of these mechanics, oh my god! Like imagine like having to type move. I'd have to make macros for like move out of frost, move out of everything, kill the mirrors. I'm gonna literally have to make macros to pug these. To like
Wait, you guys don't use the in-game voice chat every
no,
time you get
no.
into a group?
Yeah, yeah. No,
Dude,
I definitely
I'm
think
always in comms. What
this
are you guys talking
this is
about?
not pug friendly.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. I think it's guild friendly though. Like I think your guild's gonna run this. I think that's who you're gonna play with.
The
And
only way it's
you're gonna make fun of people that can't do big. And I pointed this out to you before. The greatest thing that's gonna come from this is people that suck at move mechanics are gonna suck less at move mechanics because they'll be forced to do it. They'll be forced to do it on a regular basis as opposed to only doing it in one fight in a raid every once in a while. So like those people that zone out during Obsidian Sanctum, they're gonna get more experience of like having to multitask, both playing their character and paying attention to the environment. And I think long term, it will be beneficial to a lot of players. I think that's the biggest thing you can take away from this. All right, well, sorry.
Yeah, so the only pugs that might survive this is the ones that has a geared tank and a geared healer that know what they're doing and have 3 DPS that it doesn't matter what they're doing, like they can just do whatever they want. But having like a healer that's going to be able to heal through some of the mechanics, the extra damage that everybody's taking, having a tank that knows how to properly gear so they can last through all the mechanics that you haven't really seen before, because it was cool to see mechanics from bosses I haven't seen yet because they took longer to kill. I was like,
sure.
oh, okay, yeah, this boss has this.
Oh.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. So like as long as the healer and tank are good, I think the DPS might be able to like skate through without really having to worry too much.
I think in some scenarios it might be hard, but I also think if you go in with that mentality that like we have a tank and a healer, we can carry the 3, the instances are going to be 40 minutes, 50 minutes long. Because your DPS are going to die all the time, they're not going to understand what's going on. You got to stop and explain every single mechanic to these people. Like, oh, I'm a zombie, what do I do? You're like, bring the thing in your bag? What thing in my bag? Hold on.
Well, the healer's going to take care of that. Because they're either going to be a pally. Yeah. That's what I mean. So like the healer's going to carry it, or the tank's going to carry it. Like how quick is it going to?
What about mirror image? That's a DPS problem.
The tank can switch because it's
like the cat and the healer.
And the healer can wand it. Yeah. You said it yourself. The healer's prio is the mirror image. So I like how quick are we going to see like tank selling Defense Protocol Alpha, Utgard Pinnacle, or Defense Protocol Alpha Heroic Daily Dungeon for 200 gold? And they're just going to collect 200 gold per DPS. It's going to be like a healer tank combo, and they're going to be like, give me the gold. Yeah, give me the gold.
Because or all purples go to me, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like there's a place for that.
BOE epic goes.
All BOEs go to the tank. Yeah, and master loot the hell out of that, and make sure they go to where. Honestly, I think that might be a thing. Now that you say that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to make Ferals want to have a tank off-spec, right? So you can do that.
Yeah, actually, that's a video right there. Why you should go tank in Phase 2, and it's not why you think. And then we're going to cut to, like, do you know who the Super Carly brothers are? I doubt you do. Hey, brother! No, okay.
I don't think so. That sounds like Zaryu to me. He's a mage player.
It's a Harry Potter YouTube thing.
No,
I can reference so many things, like, hey, Peaches! Nope.
Yeah, no.
It's Jay and Adam. It's reviewed. Okay. I watch too much YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube stuff. No.
They review movies. That's what those guys are. It's called Previewed. Check it out. It's fun. They're funny. They're funny guys. Anyway, yeah, I think that's actually not a horrible concept to have tanks and healers do that. Hey, Ness, welcome back. I'm gonna try to like, hold on, see if I can pause the music.
Oh, you have music playing?
Did you hold it? You did.
God.
I tried to look over to see if you were holding it, but I didn't want to ruin my.
Yo, we actually got it for like a solid like 8-10 seconds.
I couldn't. I wanted to see what was going on, but because I was frozen and I picked the stupidest spot to focus on, I couldn't see anything. I wanted to see if anyone was like, "Oh, it's froze. It's froze."
Oh man, I was looking like because of the delay. I saw it. And we were both just sat there. It was perfect.
We didn't get anybody. That's too bad. I thought for sure someone would say, "Oh, froze, froze."
Yeah, stream pros.
This is what we do for fun. We just mess with people. Fair.
You didn't like
And
the
balance.
stream?
Yeah. They just stood there froze for like 10
gonna-
seconds and
Yeah,
they
we're
called
gonna
it
freeze on you.
content. What is that?
You've been stuck at 10 likes for a long time.
Every time someone does something, there should be like an ice block command where it says ice block and just for 8
Yeah.
seconds or 10 seconds, however long it lasts. Yeah, we'd have to have something that we both hear or know that it happened. I could do my hype horn, but you can't hear it. Oh, the
I
music just
can't do it
stopped.
again. I would laugh too hard.
The music just stopped. I just happened to freeze and I was looking over there.
I tried
Okay.
for half a second. I was like, no, I can't.
Okay, is there anything else you want to talk about? We talked about PTR. We talked about Aldoar. We talked about your camera being a little low. There we go. We covered everything under the stars about our raid, our gear. What else we got? 3 hours, man.
I know. Hey,
We've
I'm
hit the
chilling.
marker.
I'm chilling.
Ness is gonna edit this, and he's gonna give me a cool voice that sounds like this.
For $400. Yeah.
You couldn't hear it.
No. I mean, have you done any GDKPs lately? Because I did one almost I guess it's been like a week and a half. I'm gonna do my second one on Saturday. So you haven't done any?
My guild runs GDKPs pretty regularly, but I've been running everything with my guilds on my main, and they're running all their alts, and I've been dragging my feet on my alts, so I don't have anything to run with. So that's why I started doing my balance druid, because I want to do alt runs for gold. And they even like our GM was even like, hey, we need more people with alts so we can start doing splits. And I'm like, no. I'm going as fast as I'm physically wanting to. Yeah. But no, I haven't. How much gold are you making?
The first run, like I spent some gold, so I'm like really greedy on my gold, but I'm still positive on that tune. So I spent maybe 11 or 1200 gold as soon as like right before the raid to get all my gems and enchants, because I did a world tour right before a raid, so I went from like a full 12 heroic dungeons into a 10-man world tour into a 25-man world tour. So it was like 12-man dungeons. I didn't enchant gem everything. I did 10-man raids. I didn't
Did you say
enchant gem
12-man
everything.
dungeons? Oh.
Did I say 12 heroic dungeons? Maybe I said 12-man.
Okay.
Probably.
Cool.
Dude, I'm on drink number 7.
That's not
But
my first one.
yeah. So then like I spent 1200 gold getting gems and enchants to get ready for the 25-man GDKP, because I had like 45 minutes, and 45 minutes sounds like a lot, but when you have like a whole bunch of gear that you just got, you don't know what's going on, you don't know how to balance your hit, your crit,
Yeah.
your haste. Dude, it was stressful, and it was like 14 hours straight. I did the heroics like right into everything, 10 mans, 25s. So I spent all that gold, and then I did the 25 mans. I think I bought 2 pieces, and I failed because I don't really use add-ons. I don't have an auction house add-on. I bought a piece. It was min bid 500, which is what it goes for on the auction house. I bid 500. I got bid up to 600
Okay.
by another balanced druid, and I was like, "No, you're not getting this piece. I want this piece." And I went like 800, and they didn't. Nobody else. It was a BOE item, so it could have gone on the auction house. So like, I was like, why isn't anybody else bidding? Because they bid on another BOE item.
Yeah.
And it went up to 800. I got it, and I looked on the auction house, and yeah, I paid 300 extra gold for it.
That sucks. So yeah, but you don't know until you know. You know. Well,
Yeah.
even if you have the add-on, you have to remember to like go to the auction house and like run it so you get all the data. Yeah.
But the payout per person was 6,100 gold. So I still made like, I don't know, 4.5K after everything was said and done. Yeah, for like it was a really quick, like really clean. Like my guild leader hosted it, the same raid lead that raid leads our normal raids, and yeah, it was nice. Like I can't wait to get into the one Saturday because I've already got Dying Curse. I got Dying Curse in the
That's
main
what
spec.
you're saying. That might be your main. Yeah. Oh, was that the GDKP, the one that I was watching part
of? The other day it was only main spec or raw spec. From like Monday.
Okay, that's when I saw where you got the Dying Curse. That's right, because you got the Dying Curse.
Yeah, I missed the GDKP this weekend. It was the fiance's birthday Saturday, and that's when it is. So like this weekend, it's gonna be GDKP number 2, and I don't have to. I might still bid somebody up on it, but I don't need it anymore. So.
Yeah. I think that's
it's
nice
easy gold though.
Ooh, sorry, I'm trying to set up the chat so I can have chat on here. That's why. I mean, I am paying attention though. I think that's the greatest thing about GDKP. I know a lot of people are against it, but like, I don't buy gold. So GDKPs are kind of like the way I get gold. And it is what it is. Like, yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like it. Sorry, YouTube chat. I need to make gold somehow. GDKPs are one of the greatest ones, especially because when we did GDKPs in the past, I would actually bring my main, and there's two types of people. You bring pumpers and you bring oilers. And the pumpers, they carry the raid, and then the oilers, they just they blow all their gold so that you continue to show up and pump. And I was always the pumper, and I would make like just crazy amounts of gold and never buy anything because I was bringing my main who's fully geared all the time. This time around, I want to do that. I'll be a pumper that also is fully geared and can just generate gold. But I don't mind buying stuff. I just hate when you show up with someone who like, you ever buy? Okay, maybe this never happened to you, but like, I joined the GDKP to try to gear my paladin, and the only other paladin in the group was one of like just the oiler rich. Every piece, he's like, yeah, 6,000 gold, and I'm like, cool, congratulations.
And you're like 6,100, and they're like 10K.
No, I'm not. I'm like 6,000. Congrats.
Okay.
And then like I'm like, yeah, but they blew all their money on the last item, so the next one drops. Like, okay, cool. Oh, 10,000. Oh, okay. Well, then they have to be broke for the no. Okay. Well, they got geared this week. That's cool. And I don't win anything, and that's just it sucks. But
no, it was really cool because, dude, I had so much fun bidding on items, even if I wasn't really interested in them and I didn't want them. Just like bidding somebody else up, and it's like I'm taking that risk. It's like it would be an upgrade, but I really don't want to spend 5K on this item. But I want to bid somebody else up and like pretend like, yeah, I kind of want this piece. Like, how bad do you want it? I think you want it more than I do. And like, how much can I push you?
How much you're willing to spend to get that thing?
Dude, it was so much fun. Like I didn't really do GDKPs in TBC. I did a couple in class. Yeah, I did a couple in classic. I only ran one. Sorry if you can hear the sirens. I only did one in TBC. And it was because I got invited by a guildie, and it was Hygel, and didn't really like. It wasn't really worth it at the end of the day. But this one, dude, like I'm kind of hyped to get back into the GDKP for Wrath.
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
no,
okay,
no,
okay.
No,
you were doing something. Okay.
I was thinking through what you said. I am hyped. I'm not hyped for GDKP. I'm hyped for the gold. I will say though that I will say that a GDKP tends to have a cleaner run than an MSOS.
It was, yeah, for me, yeah, personally,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's one reason I really like GDKPs is because you tend to have someone that's leading that's organized because they want their gold, and you tend to have people that they're either there to spend gold but they know the roles, and usually the GDKP people have filtered out the randos that can't afford anything, so there's usually like a so at the end of the day the GDKPs tend to have cleaner runs, whereas the MSOS, anybody shows up, they're like, oh, MSOS, yeah, I don't have gold, I'll go to that. And you're like, because I've been to those. Those are the 4 hour slogs where like
Yep.
7 people roll on an item and only 3 of them actually need it. And they're like, and then they trade it to their friend, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, so like the only reason I've been hyped for the GDKPs right now is because it's a guild ran GDKP, and my raid leader, like even afterwards, he was like, what did you think about the run? Like, do you have any feedback for me? And I was like, dude, I've heard that some runs, like the organizer gets like a 20% cut off the top.
Yeah, some places do that.
Yeah, that sounds insane. Like even back in Classic, it was like a 10%, and I think the 10% was like split between 2 people. So it was like, 5% for 2 people. Okay, sure. And it's like you can get so involved in how you split the cut. It's like top DPS gets 1%, top healer gets 1%, tanks get 2%, whatever. And ours is like it was pretty simple. It's like there's 1% off the top that goes towards the guild bank. It's like, okay, I'm in the guild. Sweet.
Yeah, so it
like,
benefits you anyway.
I'm doing this on my ult and I'm benefiting the guild bank. Sick. And it's like 500 gold towards the organizer, which is the raid lead. Like my normal raid lead. So it's like, yeah, like he's getting 500 extra gold and he's doing all this work. Like it's pretty cool that he's only it's cool that he's only taking 500 gold when the pot is like 160,000 gold.
I think that is something that people don't like. Our guild, our GDKPs do not take money, but they're like, yeah, but we ask for tips, and I'm like, I'd rather you just set like the amount. You know what I mean? Like this is
Yeah.
That sucks. Hold on, sorry.
Like you don't tip enough and you don't get invited back.
Yeah. Well, that's. I mean, is that good too, or is that like I don't know. Sorry, I'm like playing this thing. I don't. I mean, if you can't afford to tip, but you spent like 600 gold, 7,000 gold, whatever, who cares? Like, they got their money. They got paid. But like at the same time, if you show up, made 8,000 gold, and you don't tip anything, maybe they don't bring you next time. I don't know. I never felt obligated to because it was always my guild that ran it. But like at the same time, maybe like they look at me and they're like, Grif didn't even tip me. Like, bro, I was tanking. Like, tip me. Where's my tip? Sorry. And rant.
But
yeah.
it was really fun, and I can't wait to get back in there. And I'm a hoarder of my gold, and it felt good to kind of like let go of that. Like that tune, the gold in that tune, and even the gold that I sent to that tune just to have gold to like bid with. Like all loot that I got, I didn't take the time to farm the mats like I usually do to enchant the gear. I went to the auction house and bought it off the auction house. I'm like, I earned this from the GDKP. I could spend this gold. I don't feel bad actually using it in the game.
Yeah, I think that is one good thing about the like the GDKP money is you do, especially when you have more of it. Like right now, I'm actually resaving to prepare for phase 2. I only have like 6,000 gold, and like I would love to get into a GDKP right now and just double that, and I'd feel better because like there's gonna be like a flood of mat prices, and you're gonna need to get like our leatherworking boots. You're gonna have to buy some mat stuff, and there's gonna be like re-enchanting stuff all over again. So I want to have my hands on gold, but like this thing is messed up.
Yeah, because it Oldor brings in that whole thing where it's like there's crafted items that are BOE from leatherworking, tailoring, blacksmithing, all that stuff, where you need that drop from the bosses that is able to be sold on the auction house. So So it's like Sunmotes and Sunwell. If you ran Sunwell and TBC, like
Mhm.
those items in Ulduar are going to be able to be bought off the auction house. So if you want that BOE crafted item like week 1,
Yeah,
and you
you can
had that
just wait
gold,
for the right, wait
hmm
for it to get dumped in the auction house and just
if
rig in
if
the
you want to pay,
galleons.
yeah, if you want to pay that 1,500 gold per item, I don't know what they're called in Ulduar off the top of my head, but if you want to pay that and you have the gold and you can do that the first week and get that item like week 1 right away, like I kind of want to do that. I want to be prepped to be able to do that.
I've done that almost every time, and it does feel good going into a fresh raid with already a boost of gear.
Yeah.
Even if it's like week 2, you know, like you're already like, yeah, let's do this. The items are called ruined orbs.
Ruined orbs, yeah.
I looked it up.
And I think there's like 6 of them in order to get like a belt that I want, something like that, like 6
The
to
boots,
8.
the boots are 6. Let me see what the belts
Okay.
are.
Yeah, the belt was the one I had in mind, but I might end up getting boots too.
Sorry, taking a minute. 6 and 6, and then it's for the belt I'm looking at. There's Arctic Fur and then Eternals. They're gonna go up in price. So if you've been sitting on Eternals, sit on them longer because they're about to just as soon as phase 2 hits, probably even before, probably like a week before phase 2, people are gonna stock up and get ready to buy all that stuff. So you're gonna probably want to sell if you're planning on selling like right at the end of phase 1 or early phase 2.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, for me it's like the tailoring cloth. Like I think I want the tailoring like the cloth pieces. So I've been making the cloth myself, and the only thing I should need once Ulduar drops is to find somebody that got the pattern week 1, and I need to like just spend that gold, chill it out for the 2k per orb or whatever it was, like for 6 of them in order to get that piece like really quick.
Yeah, I think I think it's gonna be much easier to just buy it. Like,
Yeah.
I think my guild's gonna probably provide some people with it. Like, I mean, we'll get it. So, but there's so many people that want different leatherworking and I think cloth things too, that you're gonna be fighting through people. The good thing is there's the rich people that are like, yeah, I'll just buy it. And I'm like the middle where they're like, they might give it to me, but like, I think I told you I took a stance on giving abyss crystals to the guild.
Yep.
And I think it's gonna bite me in the butt. And I'm like, yeah, can I get some of those? They're like, well, you know, you don't really contribute to the guild. I don't know.
It's like, I'll give you abyss crystals now that I can run these new heroics and get them for free.
Yeah, I'll give you 20 a week. What do you need? Just send a number. I'll hook you up. I think
They
that's one of
only
the greatest things about enchanting right now is like, I might have told you about this. What I do is I run like a heroic and I don't tell anyone I'm an enchanter. And when the purple comes,
yeah.
I buy it off of them for like whatever the vendor price is, and they're like, yeah, cool, you know, whatever. I'll give them an extra 5 gold or something. And then that's 130, 150 gold in my pocket. Even if the abyss crystals stay like a decent price, like let's say 60 gold, it's still gonna be worth it to do that, to just like buy them off people, and I'm not gonna tell anyone I'm an enchanter. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'll take that. Sure, you want to trade? Cool, let's do it. And they're like, wow, you know, like, I might become an enchanter in the future, so I want to like stack a bunch of purple.
The great thing about Blizzard not having the random dungeon finder is if there was an enchanter in the group, it would automatically give you that option to DE the items, so you knew there was an enchanter. Now you can hide it.
Not necessarily. So the random dungeon finder, okay. The random dungeon finder did come with that, but it is a separate mechanism that they could release separately anyway. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, you know how like when you when an item, a green, a blue drops, it gives you like the need, greed, packs. Well, a 4th option gets added if there's an enchanter in your group, and it's disenchant. And it's similar to greed, except when it gets greeted, it'll auto disenchant and throw it in your bags for you. Super convenient for everyone but the enchanter, who's losing out on enchanting mats, and it's destroying the enchanting market because everyone now has enchanting. You know, nothing gets vendor anymore. Yeah. No, so the DE is at the same level. It's essentially a greed. No, that's not true, table, and I'm almost positive.
Did it?
A greed and a DE are the exact same. A need is above it, and a pass is below them. So if you DE and you greed, you both roll, but if the DEer wins, it gets auto DE. I'm almost 99.4% positive.
Look, hey, hit the clip option at the bottom of the stream right now, and clip what Grif just said. And if it bites him in the butt, you can use it against him.
I'm okay with
that. Law.
Because if that happens, if that comes to play, I'll quit the game because I'm so angry about my enchanting going to. No, I'm just kidding. I won't quit the game over that.
Yeah,
it'll be over something
hide. Yeah, enchanters can't hide.
There's no
gold.
As soon as that happens, as soon as the DE option hits the game, I don't think there's any logical reason to stay an enchanter as a non-caster.
Other than making gold, yeah.
You get the glove, or you get the ring enchants, but they're okay. They're attack power, they're not strength. So any other thing is better, and you don't get the benefit of disenchanting. So like no, like you would drop it. Like I'm only keeping it, knowing that it's a DPS loss because of the gold. Yeah, I don't know. My tune back one's enchanters, so maybe my experience will be different. Yeah, maybe. I'm almost positive. I'm trying to think if we can test this. Some sort of private server. I mean, like, I'll give you an example of how handy enchanting can be for other people. So we had a bunch of tier gear for druids drop this week that nobody wanted, and they gave it to me. I went and traded it for druid tier gear, and then I DE'd it and put it in the guild bank. If I'm not a DE'er, I can't do that. But at the same time, I'm not really benefiting from it because it's my guilds, and I don't know I can steal it from them. It's their loot. But yeah, like if they make enchanting or DEing a benefit for everyone, it's not a benefit to me. Yeah. Need for Ospec, dude. So many people do that, and I've called them out on it. And because I have the time, I have a second screen. I open up their logs. I look through their gear, and I'm like, nope, you're lying. Nope. No shame.
That's not your OpSpec.
That's not your OpSpec. That's not even. You have gear better than that. We can do it. Yeah. Most of the time, I don't care anymore because it's heroics. I run one a day. One. If it's OpSpec. Your OpSpec is healer. Why are you taking tank gear? Well, the scenario I'm actually talking about, the guy was claiming that he was in his OpSpec healing. And then he's like, oh, taking this for main spec. And I'm like, no, hold on. No, your main spec is an elemental and you have this item, you're lying. And they're like, well.
Yeah, you don't have healing parses. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No log has you as resto. What do you mean?
You know what that means? I did the stretch. Do you see it?
Well, you trying to wrap it up?
Yeah, we're wrapping it up. I'm tired. 9:30 on a Wednesday.
Okay.
Oh,
dude, you're wrapping it up. I'm about to turn it up.
You can kick your stream back on, and I'll send it over to you, even though I can't.
I will kick it back up.
Yeah. I'll definitely tell everyone to. If you guys haven't already, this is Classic Go. That's his link. YouTube. He streams pretty much all day, every day. Well, all night, every night. So if you ever want to watch a Boomy, just absolutely pump. He's a 99 parser, absolutely incredible boomkin, and can teach you a lot about how to play. I recommend him there.
You're too kind, man.
Check him out. Classic Go. Go? Yeah, exactly. Anyway, guys, I am going to wrap it up. If you guys have any questions, you've got 10 seconds to ask them, and they cannot be about my Red Maiden situation and the comments they asked me. I will not talk about it. There's pending lawsuits.
And Grif asked a little bit on his videos. I never ask, but 11 likes on the stream. If we could get a couple more before it ends, would be cool. Get the word out to other people. It gets recommended more because of the algorithm. So yeah, take that time to hit that little thumbs up at the bottom.
Yeah. It helps out because we want to continue doing this podcast, but we can't do it without you at home. Call 1-800-55. Okay, I'm not gonna keep going. So that's a real number. But yeah, like and subscribe.
Instead of this video making 40 cents, we can get to 45 cents.
45 cents! That's a cup of coffee in 1996, where most of our jokes come from. What's that, huh?
Or a hamburger when McDonald's opened originally, with pickles and onions.
It was actually a hamburger when McDonald's first opened was like 5 cents, so you could get 9 hamburgers for the price of our YouTube video.
That's insane.
I used to
that,
work at McDonald's. I know like the whole history. They made a movie about it, I think.
that sounds like a thumbnail. Get give Grifton and Go 9 hamburgers by watching this video if they were alive in 1960.
You make that, I'll add it. I just want to do the freeze. Or can you do like the shocked face? Do you want to prize that? Okay, hold on. Hey, Mincy, what's up, buddy? Hold on. I'm gonna do the shock.
Minzy's here. I can't do that face with Minzy.
Wait, hold on. Let me get free. There we go. Okay, ready? We're gonna do shock face.
He might
like,
get the wrong idea.
Someone just stole your bis as a frost mage. Ready?
Wait, Valnir just got pried to a holy pally.
No, you should be like, okay. Clip it. We're done. Anyway, guys, I'm hopping off. Mexico is probably going to continue streaming. Hop on
Maybe in like 5 minutes, yeah.
In 5 minutes. So go to your bathroom, get fries from McDonald's. You're going to feel great. In case you're wondering, it's just a lot of salt. That's the secret.
Episode number 4.
Thanks,
Episode 4 is going to be on my channel next week, as long as Grif is down for next week. Then,
and that's just contributed €1, which is equivalent to 20 hamburgers in 1954. You blinked. I saw it.
Blink, yeah. I forgot to not blink. I was like, I have the mouth.
What did I say? I said €1. That's right. You guys abandoned the euro.
Blinked.
England abandoned the euro, so now we have to go back to calling it a pound. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope we didn't take it back because we offended.
Yeah, refund.
Never mind. They don't know European culture. I don't know who the leader of their country is.
The leader of the Prince James?
No, it's some new dude. No, there's a new prime minister. I don't know his name. Starts with an S.
Oh.
It's like an S.
Oh,
Anyway.
no.
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching Feral and Balanced, our podcast. Like and subscribe. I know it did. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna stop the stream.